let's jam.
There we go. I think I'm good. Yes, we're good. Okay, we're fine. Hello, everybody, and
There
welcome
we are.
to episode 9 of the Rocket Punch Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron here. On the right side, my co-host, partner in crime, Mr. Will. Will, how you doing, man?
All right. Yay to the world of AT&T internet problems.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I'm supposed to have gigabit fiber, and I'm getting like 10 down and 4 up, which is why the 720p square.
Are they pulling some crap like, hey, well, I don't say if it's crap, but like due to the,
No.
COVID-19? Okay, I was gonna say.
No, I'm not doing that at all. I had to jury rig an old WRT 54G router onto the modem to get it to work.
Oh God.
What? Oh, Kevin, your face. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I got wireless G going on right now.
If it works, it works.
I mean, kinda.
That third voice you guys hear on the show is this guy down here below me, Kevin, aka Sniper Eye, 2010. He is our special guest for the show. Sir, how are you doing this evening?
I'm hanging in, man. It's been a wild week, and I had a crazy night last night that I'm still recovering from.
I was gonna say, like, we got on and then you popped in. I'm like, are you sure you're supposed to be here? Are you okay? Is something wrong? Like, this is the Rocket Punch show. Don't want to mess you up here, but no, we're glad to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here, man.
Some games well, as we like to do when we have special guests. Pimp yourself out a little bit. Tell us you're a streamer. You stream on the Twitches and stuff. Talk a little bit about that before we start.
Yeah, I love to stream on Twitch.tv. I stream mainly shooter-style games, more military than anything, like Battlefield 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, The Division 2, which, William, we still got to get our own builds for that.
No,
But,
absolutely.
I've heard that game is okay. I just...
It's more than okay. But yeah, I love to stream on there, especially multiplayer games, dude. I always welcome people in, like, hey, come not just for the channel, come to join in the game. Call of Duty, 9 times out of 10, I've only got 2 or 3 people, if that. But yeah, that's my main place to be. I delved into YouTube a little bit, but it never took off. So it's kind of the place I put like stream clips and things like that. But yeah, I'm primarily on Twitch.
Okay. What's a Twitch channel so everybody knows?
Twitch.tv/Sniper Eye, and that's like an eyeball, 2010.
Okay, kids, so go ahead and get your pens out because apparently, due to the COVID-19 stuff, we've all degraded back to pens and paper. Write it down, Sniper Eye 2010. Make sure to go check out his streams and follow him.
Wait, why did you default back to pen and paper? COVID doesn't stop the notes app on your phone from working.
I don't know. People overreact a lot.
I don't know, man. My Verizon's been kicking out on occasion, so I don't know. I don't necessarily trust my technology to be there for me during the apocalypse. I gotta go full barbarian.
I was gonna say.
So where's the chisel and the stone?
Chisel? Nah, man. That's what you use a full auto rifle for. Ride it out using bullets.
I feel like that's a waste of ammo.
Depends on your look. And it depends on what ammo you're using. If you're using 22, you're fine.
Well, yeah, all right, that's fine. But what
this
is
is
22?
good.
That sounds like that could be fun.
This is gonna be a fun show. I already know. I'm so excited.
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about, Cam.
Both of you know exactly what I'm talking about here. But
No.
since we have a third guest, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. If you did not know, this is the Rocket Punch Show, your southern source for all things gaming, geek, and more. You can listen to us every Tuesday on your podcast service of choice. You can also listen to us live as we record the show each and every week here on twitch.tv/Rocket Punch Live around Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So as we like to do, thank you to everyone who's tuning in via chat and joining us in our conversations this fine evening. If you want to find out more about Rocket Punch, you can easily head over to rocketpunchgo.com. That is your one-stop shop for all of our videos, podcasts, and more. If you want to be a part of the Rocket Punch family, become one with us when we're not on the mics or in front of the camera, you can head over to our Discord channel. It is on the show notes for people listening via audio, and it is in chat for people who are watching via Twitch. If you want to help support the show, you can do so. Many different ways you can do that. You can go over and review us on your podcast service of choice, wherever you're listening to us through there. Give us a quick review. That'll help us out. You can also follow and share our content over on social media. We are Rocket Punch Go on Twitter, Rocket Punch Go on YouTube, Rocket Punch Network over on Facebook, and Rocket Punch Go on Instagram. So definitely go check us out there. You can subscribe if you have a free Twitch Prime sub. We would love it if you threw that to us here on Twitch. That way you'll help us out and you get cool little emotes in the process. So that's pretty awesome. And if you want to go even further beyond, you can check out patreon.com/rocketpunch, become a patron, and see how you can help us ascend to even greater heights, while also getting some cool exclusive stuff like bonus content and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, be like Curtis Among Us. Be like him and help support us. Thank you for the resub, sir. Always appreciated. Just like our Patreons, guys, as we do in each and every show, we like to give a shout out to our Patreon producers, the people supporting us at our highest tier over on patreon.com/rocketpunch. So a special shout out and thank you to Jossie M, CMS, Jeremy M, Stephen S, Tyler H, and Adam C. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. Hopefully we're doing the best we can during this entire crisis and thing with COVID-19. So hopefully we're making you guys proud. Upcoming events and announcements. The review is live. Doom Eternal is live. The review is on YouTube. I'm done with it. 300 words? I think.
Is that all?
That's all it was. Man. Oh.
That's it? Man, you scrub. Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
I want everyone to also remember that this upcoming weekend, there's a game that's coming out that I will be reviewing, and I'm scared to figure out how many words I'm going to add into that. And that game is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm pretty scared. It's coming. It'll be here on Thursday. I'm super pumped.
It's already downloaded.
No, man, you can't play it. They've locked it. You can't play it till Friday.
I'm gonna stream it, so as long as my internet gets fixed, that or I'll stream it 480p. I don't care.
Whatever it takes.
Hashtag whatever it takes.
Here we go. Cash Family. Hello, sir. He says that your volume's down, so I'm pumping you guys up just a little bit on my end here.
Man.
Reviews that are coming. Animal Crossing, Resident Evil 3. I know the two big ones that we're looking at here. We're going to be talking more about Resident Evil 3 since we got our guy Sniper right here later on in the show. And also Ori and the Blind Forest as well. We'll have those reviews working on and coming later on for you guys. We've also got some cool little op-eds that we'll be working on here. I know, Will, you're working on the Warlords of New York impressions. I actually think I'm going to look at the Control impressions because that new expansion pack, the Expedition.
Okay.
Yeah, the Expedition's out. I think I might take a look at that too. So that'll be pretty cool.
Cool. Another thing I'm working on is Final Fantasy 14 something. Because I'm going to be playing that with Curtis since he and Rumi are on it now. So it'll be interesting.
Awesome. That will be super, super awesome.
In fact, until Remake drops, I'm going to be playing that this week.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay. I keep seeing it. It keeps popping up in my feed. You keep talking about it. Other friends keep talking about it. So I'm like, am I going to sub back to Final Fantasy 14 again?
I don't know why you wouldn't. It's more Final Fantasy. You're a Final Fantasy weeb.
Well, hey, I take offense to that. Only specific Final Fantasy versions, which is basically 7 and further, because it's all I've played for the most part.
And that is your loss.
That is true. I've wanted to play 6. I just haven't had a chance.
Hey, you know what? You know that thing I gave you for your birthday?
No, I don't remember. I remember. I'm kidding. I'm joking. It's on there. Is it on there?
Well, A7's on there, but there's a bunch of other things on there as well.
I get
from the Final Fantasy.
Look, there's a lot of stuff in there. I've been playing a lot of Metal Gear Acid, so.
Hey, you know what? That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with Metal Gear.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not you're correct.
Especially if Microsoft buys it.
Oh boy.
There's a rumor floating around. But yeah.
Halo Atlantis redeemed 500 points of rocket fuel. He says Doom Eternal Game of the Year. You know what? All I'm gonna say is go check out the official Rocket Punch review over at twitch.tv/ youtube.com/RocketPunchGo. Go check out the official review. It's up live now, and you'll find out what we think, or at least what I think about it.
Well, I can tell you what I think. It's the first game this year I've returned on Steam.
Ooh, really?
It makes
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought about it. I'm like, give me my money back.
Wow.
And I have 2016, and I love it.
Go check out the review. You can hear what we think. So, podcasts that are up and coming, guys. We got Console Wars Episode 3. I'm coordinating with Seth to get that recorded for you guys here, so that'll be coming up for you shortly. Dice, Decks, and Design Episode 2 will also be coming out to you guys. I've already got that recorded. Just got to get that edited out. That may actually come out this week, and we may do Console Wars next week. We'll find out and see. And then, of course, if you guys want to know when we're streaming, make sure you're following us here on Twitch, so that way you are going to know when we go live this week. Apparently Will might stream some Final Fantasy VII Remake, which will be great, because that gives me an intimate amount of time. Like, I can sit here in my office
and record the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. All plus, I number one. Okay, before we get into the news for you guys, Sniper Eye, do you care about Final Fantasy at all?
I do. There's quite a few I loved. I even just recently started replaying through Final Fantasy X again, which I love the intro for that one especially. Just
10
because
is
of the
really
heavy
good.
metal.
Yeah, 10 is really, really good.
Can't hate.
Number one, if you are excited about Final Fantasy VII Remake, then do not watch, from what I've been told, don't watch the latest trailer that came out, because it is super spoilery, and super spoilery in the, like, some points. There are apparently some moments in the game that weren't in the original that kind of add some twists and turns to the entire story. Apparently some of those made it into the trailer. So if you have not watched the trailer, don't watch it if you don't want to be spoiled. Number two, I've read one tweet about somebody, I think either in Australia or Europe, who actually beat the game, and they actually said, which I'm really excited about, the game was about 30 plus hours, and that was not including side quests and other side missions and stuff that they did. So it makes me very excited for playing this game, because I think the original, they said in their tweet, the original Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1, it was you were in Midgar for 6 hours, and now we're going to be in there for 5 times that. So super excited.
I'm very worried for Disc 2.
What's that?
I'm talking about, like, how long that section of the game is going to be, because this was a 3-disc game, right? So it's going to be 3 parts. That's what I'm assuming.
And the original was 3 discs.
Yeah. Yeah, so if this is 3 parts, good God, we're going to have, 30, 40 hours in part 2, 30, 40 hours in part 3. So they're going to try to make this... contend with... Well, no, I was going to say... Persona? Are they aiming at Persona 5 on the completion time there? What's going on?
Oh, God.
No, it sounds more like they're going for that Mass Effect original trilogy gameplay time. Because I put in 150 hours between those 3 games alone.
I put in a lot in 1 and 3. I never played 2, so...
Oh,
which apparently is the best one, so my bad. Slipped up on that. The Cash family in Twitch chat wants to know if you are standing, Will.
Yes, I'm at a standing desk. So if you see me moving around a bit, it's because I'm shifting from one foot to the other. I'm trying to fight the quarantine lethargy with coffee and standing most of the day.
And Kevin, you're right. Like, quite a few games will contend for Game of the Year for sure, and that's asterisk if the game does not get delayed due to the COVID-19 virus, which we will talk about here in just a minute. Speaking of that,
already there's already at least 3 games that are going to contend between Doom, Animal Crossing, and Resident Evil already being released. That's 3 games right there. We got Final Fantasy. That's another. So, but yeah, you're right. If they don't get delayed, there will be more. But there's already a few at least.
And we're going to talk about one of them in the news here, guys. Let's jump into news here. For people who are new to the show, news is where we kind of just break down the latest news and happenings throughout the gaming industry from the past week. We've got 6 items on the docket here. I'm excited to talk about this first one. Mario. Number 1, Mario may be coming back in force. I'm reading this one. There were a lot of people that broke this story after one website did. I'm reading specifically from Eurogamer.net. Tom Phillips over there. Nintendo Switch 2020 lineup may be dominated by Mario games old and new. Nintendo Switch's first-party lineup for the rest of 2020 will be dominated by Mario games old and new to coincide with the original Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary. That's according to Eurogamer sources with knowledge of Nintendo's upcoming plans who have corroborated a report posted by VGC. First, the report states Nintendo will release, quote, most of Super Mario's 35-year back catalog this year, remastered for Nintendo Switch. There's no details on which game this includes, but the article includes a banner image of Mario Galaxy, perhaps intended to suggest Wii Classic as one of those games. Eurogamer sources have indicated that Mario Galaxy is indeed one of the games being readied for a remaster, alongside a couple of other 3D Mario favorites. And there's an update to this story here. Gamatsu has now confirmed these as Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, which Eurogamer can corroborate. Many earlier Mario games are already available on Switch via the console, Switch Online, NES, and Super NES apps. There's a little bit more to the article, not too much there, but gentlemen, I ask you, how pumped and excited does this make you as Nintendo fans, possibly, maybe?
So my two favorite Mario games are Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. I have them both still on their original platforms, and they're hooked to my TV right now. So this would be a day one purchase if they're full 1080p remasters.
Yes.
I'm excited as well, but the thing for me is going to be this. How are they going to release them? Is it going to be they release each game individually, or is it going to be a bundle packet? Because depending on which they do, I may or may not pick this up, because as much as I love the original Mario games, I'm like you, Will, I love Mario 64. But if they sell that separate and it's like $20 for that game by itself, that might kind of throw me off a little bit on getting it.
No, I bet you it would be $29.99 and they would sell them separate, because they can totally do that, and it's Nintendo. They'll get their money out of it.
I've heard...
True.
I don't want to say the loudest rumors. I say that in context. I've just heard whispers that some sources are pointing to it being a bundle. Basically, Mario Galaxy, Mario 64, and Sunshine would be a bundle, like a 3-game pack that you would buy. Now, that is all rumor. They could still be broken up into different games, but I think it would be very nice, especially for, I don't know why, for some of the hate I think that Mario Sunshine gets sometimes in the gaming industry, and it doesn't make sense to me. But if they bundled that with Mario 64 and Galaxy, arguably two of the most popular Mario titles in the catalog there, that would be nice, and give people a chance to play Sunshine if they haven't.
Yeah, agreed.
But we'll see.
I could see them...
Oh, go ahead.
Between that and then the classics, they could definitely do separate bundles, but... if they don't do bundles, at least, I feel like that's going to shoot Nintendo in the foot in the long run. Because there's so many classic ones that are, like you said, already on the NES and SNES classic apps when you have Switch Online that you can play already. If they didn't sell them as a bundle and that they tried to sell them individually, I feel like they wouldn't make near as much in the sales.
And see, that's what's funny and interesting about Nintendo's first-party catalog is that even if they don't bundle it, people will still buy it. If I promise you, if they put Mario 64 remastered 1080p on Nintendo Switch for $29.99 or $39.99, however much they want to charge for it, people will go out in droves and buy that game.
You know what game we do need a remake on, or remaster, whatever you want to call it? Super Mario RPG.
Oh,
I never played that one.
It's made by Square, published by Nintendo.
I'm in. That's all you had to... Will, you know that's all you had to say to me. I was like, hey, open the door. I'm ready to come in.
It's like, hey, welcome to Squaresoft. How can we... You know, I mean, just come on.
Oh, for the kids who are too young to remember Squaresoft. Oh,
you mean before the first Final Fantasy, or the Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie bankrupted them because of the CG budget?
Oh, man. That movie...
I love that movie, too. I love that movie.
It's cool, it's weird. It's cool, but it's weird.
Hey, man. It's still one of those games where I'm like, no, Halo.
Ooh. Halo Atlantis in chat, redeeming some more rocket fuel here. It says, Star Fox 64 hands down.
Wait, Cash Family, I just said I love that movie. How am I bad-mouthing it?
Halo
Atlantis. It
Atlantis.
almost killed Square.
Star Fox 64 is cool. Is that... You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the only good Star Fox game?
According to Star Fox fans, but I have a very unpopular opinion. Star Fox Adventure on the GameCube is better.
Ooh.
Oh,
Kevin's like,
Bill.
I don't know. Hold on a second here.
No, I don't want to spill the tea on this one, man. I'm going to have to just strongly disagree.
Hey, we can agree to
Better
disagree.
game.
We can agree to disagree.
Agreed there. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I just, have an unpopular opinion on that one. I like Star Fox 64. I beat it, but...
The Cash family in chat says, Will, I see you too like to live dangerously.
Yes, let's piss everybody off constantly. Let's go.
That's good. Well, I mean, it's all that matters is we need a remake of this game right here. Although we have this already on my Super NES Classic, so I'm happy. I don't need anything else. But I'm excited to see if these rumors are true. If so, then I think that'll be a big year for Nintendo, and it might be a great kind of, I don't want to say deterrent, but a great way to keep them in the conversation when next-gen consoles come out later this fall. So,
well, which is kind of funny when you think about it, because right now they're the only sold out nationwide.
The Switch?
Yeah, the regular Switch, not the Lite. You can't get them anywhere. They're sold out.
Yeah, I can attest to that, dude. It's, as y'all know, I'm pretty sure everyone else doesn't know this. I work at GameStop. Go ahead, get the hate out. I know it's gonna be someone. But I get calls about that every single day. Hey, do you have a Switch? Hey, do you have a Switch? I have to keep telling them, no, we're sold out.
Really?
Like, that's the one console. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like the apocalypse happened, and everyone's like, oh my God, I need a Switch. And it's like, why?
Hey,
why
look,
that over
but
a PS4 and Xbox?
You can take this on the go with you. Look at this.
Yeah, so you can actually, while you're getting shot at or getting swarmed by zombies, you can play Animal Crossing. Or you can play Doom 64 on it to prepare for the zombie apocalypse.
It's something to do. It's like iPods and other like portable stuff, because that will be your communication device during the end times.
Hang on one second though. You say that, but they don't have a dedicated game chat on the Switch yet. Come on, Nintendo.
Oh, just pull up your phone and download the Nintendo Switch Online app, and you'll be able to...
Nah. If it's not on the console itself, I don't want it.
It's called Discord. It's just better.
Yep, there you go. That should be Discord's new slogan. Discord is just better. That would be great. I would love it.
I mean, why not?
Your move, Discord. Ball's in your court now. Number 2 here. Modern Warfare 2 gets remastered here. Reading this from Matt Perslow over at IGN.com. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered is official, and it's out right now. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered is no longer just a badly kept secret. It's out now on PlayStation 4, and yes, no Russian is still in it. Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered has an exclusivity period on PS4 and will launch on PC and Xbox One 30 days later on April 30th, although you can pre-purchase now. The remaster has been handled by Beenox and supports up to 4K resolution and HDR. Activision announced the game today at the moment of its official launch. The game remasters the whole Modern Warfare 2 story campaign, including the infamous No Russian mission, as well as other fan favorites such as Takedown. As the title implies, this is a remaster of just the campaign, and there are no multiplayer maps included. What do you? I got the perfect people to discuss this. What do you guys think about the Modern Warfare 2 remaster? And I'm sure, because we're gonna discuss it, the exclusivity that they've got, the 30 days, which has been common here, but it's very interesting that they're doing it now. What do you guys think?
Hey man, you're the guest. You go first.
Okay, I can definitely go ahead and pour the tea on this one, because Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite freaking campaign. Even though they had that controversial, for lack of a better term, mission, No Russian, I love the campaign. It brought the U.S. Marine Corps in it, and it wasn't just simply Special Forces. They did go ahead and dive into the weapon customization a little bit more with that one. And it was just an amazing story. It definitely went interesting later on in the campaign, which... I'm sorry, if you haven't played the campaign by now, you've been living on a rock. When the nuke goes off and you're fighting with just iron sights, it got interesting. I love the price point. I saw that it was $20 for this as a remaster, which is not bad at all.
I would agree. I was very shocked because wasn't the original, like the Modern Warfare remaster, like a year or 2 years ago, wasn't it like $40 or something like that? So it's
Something
very
like that, yeah. And originally, you couldn't even get it by itself. You had to buy Infinite Warfare Legacy, which I think was like $80.
Yeah, it was bundled in there. So I do appreciate that for $20 you can just get the campaign. That was really nice.
But other than that, the exclusivity thing for the campaign being remastered, I feel like that's not needed. It's a campaign. Like you said, there's no multiplayer. The only thing I've seen they're doing multiplayer-wise for it is if you have the current Call of Duty Modern Warfare, it gives you the UDT outfit for Ghost, the Marine Corps style M4, and a few other little things. But you get that as part of buying the game. So I don't understand where the exclusivity comes into play.
It's ever since the PlayStation 4 came out, in not going too far back, it's a similar thing that Xbox had back in the 360 days. So PlayStation 4 got that exclusivity with Activision, so that way I think it's been pretty consistent that for a lot of the time, any extra content for any new Modern Warfare game usually had like a 30-day window on PlayStation before it ended up on Xbox, which, exclusivities, I don't mind it, but says the guy who has literally every current gen console. Will's got more than I do, running around right now. But I don't. It would have been nice to say, especially during all this COVID-19 stuff, to say, hey, you know what? Hey, it's released for everybody. But I'm sure that the reason, whether somebody on Activision staff, it's funny, wanted, had a heart and said, you know what, let's release it for everybody. I'm sure it really came down to money and the fact that, like, hey, money exchanged hands, they're tied, whether people want to or not.
Yeah, and I can still see that if it was any multiplayer in it, but again, it being a campaign, I feel like that was the one time they should have let exclusivity slide, but I can still see why. I mean, again, money exchanging hands. It's like the old saying goes, money makes the world go around.
Yeah. Although I love the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and I'm disappointed that's not been brought forward.
It is.
Agreed.
It is weirdly and painfully obvious of that comment you just made, Kevin. Money makes the world go around, especially in this time right now.
Okay, no. I gotta ask, what makes you say that? I'm curious.
That is a conversation that unfortunately we don't have the time to talk about right now on the show.
Okay.
But Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, that was the first, especially in the Modern Warfare stuff, the first campaign that I played through in its entirety. So I'm with you, Kevin. Like, I loved Modern Warfare 2. It was really, I played Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and I really didn't pick any other one up until, like, Advanced Warfare and some of these newer games over the last maybe like 5 to 7 years.
I'm sorry.
So, hey, dude, I like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare. People give Infinite Warfare a lot of crap, but that was a really good campaign, and I had a lot of fun with it. Even though they completely wasted Kit Harington, but
I will say this: Infinite Warfare, I have a love-hate relationship with, because I love the gameplay in it. Mm-hmm. But good God, the amount of assets they ripped off from other games.
They got to do what they got to do to sell that game out.
Yeah, but I mean, case in point for me, the drop ships. First time I played that game, hey, that looks just like a pelican. Oh my God, that looks just like a pelican from Halo. It operates like one. What the heck?
Yeah, about that.
The Cash family in chat says we should all pitch in and get the channel on Neo Geo for Christmas. Can you still buy those?
Maybe over at Rocket City Arcade. # not spawn. But I mean, they sell old consoles, so maybe there.
Good point.
I've seen NESs and Ataris in there, so who knows?
Okay, I want to. Before we get to the next story, I want everyone to just take a deep breath and prepare to get slightly irritated and upset. Story number 3, Borderlands devs are getting stiffed. This is coming from good old Jason Schreier at Kotaku. Sources, despite huge sales, Borderlands 3 developers are getting stiffed on bonuses here. I'll read a little bit of this article here. The video game Borderlands 3 was a big sales success when it launched last fall, according to its publisher 2K, which described it as, quote, a billion-dollar global brand, end quote. That's why it was shocking to employees at Gearbox, the developer of the game, when the studio CEO, Randy Pitchford, told them yesterday that they would not receive the significant royalty bonuses they expected. Employees at the studio will get small bonus checks, but nothing close to the tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands that many had expected. This account is based on conversations with 6 people close to Gearbox, all speaking anonymously because they were not authorized to talk about what happened. Some said it was crushing news that has upended their financial plans for the future. Gearbox, based in Frisco, Texas, offers its employees below-average salaries for the video game industry, according to more than a dozen current and former Gearbox staff who have spoken to Kotaku over the years. To make up for that, the studio offers something unique: profit sharing. Royalties from all of the developers' games are split 60-40, with 60% going back into the company and its owners, while 40% is distributed to employees in the form of quarterly bonuses. This system has been in place since Gearbox's inception, and when the company has big hits, it can be lucrative. When 2012's massive Borderlands 2 came out, many Gearbox workers made enough money to buy houses, a fact that the studio often touted when recruiting new employees. Since then, however, Gearbox has been struggling, failing to find much financial success with flops like Alien Colonial Marines and Battleborn. RIP. As a result, quarterly bonuses have been smaller in recent years. In 2020, that was supposed to change. Several Gearbox employees told Kotaku that company management promised them 6-figure bonuses following the launch of Borderlands 3. The more years they'd been with the company, the larger the check. The vision of financial success helped Gearbox developers get through many long nights and weekends working on the game. Then, in a meeting yesterday, Gearbox Randy Pitchford told employees that Borderlands 3 bonus checks would be significantly lower than they had hoped, according to 3 people who were present. He said the game had been more expensive than expected, the company had grown significantly larger than it had been in the past, it now operates a second studio in Quebec, Canada, and that their sales projections had been off base. The game had sold very well. Quote, we expect lifetime unit sales to be a record for the series, said Strauss Zelnick, CEO of 2K parent company Take-Two, and on an earning call in February, but it cost way too much to make. One large factor was a technology swap midway, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip through some of this crap, blah, blah. Pitchford also told Gearbox developers that if they weren't happy with the royalty system, they were welcome to quit, according to those who were in the meeting. He did not attribute the diminished bonuses to the coronavirus pandemic, which has led to economic uncertainty and pay cuts in many other fields. He did say that he'd hoped to get more money to employees as an advance from 2K on future royalties. There is a bunch more comments and stuff. Save all the boring stuff there for you guys to check out and read.
I got something I want to bring up on this.
Go right ahead.
So, there was a whole bunch of lawsuits last year that ended up happening because Randy Pitchford and his creepiness and his magician videos that were on a USB drive. I'm going to keep that as polite as I can. Anyway, in 2016, this man got a $12 million bonus. Now, he's the head of the studio, all this other stuff. But a man who got a $12 million bonus just screwed 40% of the 40% of the employees that amount of money they were supposed to get, and put it right back into his pockets and in the studio. That's fucked up. I'm not buying another Gearbox game. That's where I'm at.
This really sucks, especially like it's a really cool system, and I can definitely see how it can get developers involved. Like, oh my, the salary's a little bit lower, but if we do really well on these games, we can share in the profits, and get there. Like, I would love to. Like that's a really cool incentive, especially when if you join the company and they're working on Borderlands 3, arguably their biggest brand ever. That dude, and it really sucks that they were getting pumped up too. Like, guys, keep working. We're expecting so many sales of this game. Da 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 da. You guys are gonna get huge bonus checks this quarter. Get hyped, get excited, and then at the 11th hour, they get told, "Oh no, guess what? I hope you didn't go ahead and put down that loan on that brand new house that you were going to get, because you won't be able to get it." And that is a little sad to see.
For me, this feels too commission based for the game developers.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, if you want a team that's going to do good, you want to give them the time to work on the game, you want to give them the budget to do so, and you want to take care of them while they're doing so. Versus, oh, hey, if you work hard enough, you'll get the money, and then in this case, oh, well, you're not getting as much as you thought. That, for me, would irritate me, and it would immediately make me want to consider leaving and going to another developer if I was in that situation. Because if you're doing a job that you're supposed to be doing, you should get paid for that job. You shouldn't be one of them deals. The incentive to do the job well is to get paid.
Yeah, I agree. Will and I both know about companies that try and do incentive-based plans and projects, and we saw how that went. You remember that, Will? A long time ago.
Yeah, well, we had 2 people doing the work of the entire store.
And what was? I think what was the commission check? You got the biggest one, and it was like $3.
Yeah, it was 3 something, and yeah. So Sniper, Cam and I used to work at CompUSA when they were owned by Carlos Slim back in the day, before they went out of business and Tiger Direct bought the name, and operated as CompUSA for a while. So with everything going on, they tried to move to commission based to convince people to sell their insurance things or whatever. And Cam and I essentially did our jobs, and we sold what we could, but we didn't push people. And we were the only ones who ended up getting any kind of commission, and it wasn't even enough for a cup of coffee.
I got change, literally like 30 cents. It was the thing.
Yeah.
That happened.
Guess what? The next month, nobody sold any of it.
Yeah. Surprise.
Oh man, you mean the 2 guys that literally did the entire store's and they only got chump change? Yep, cool. Not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. It's like when I got promoted, or my first promotion at GameStop, the former district leader there, I won't say her name just because I'm not that spiteful, she originally wasn't going to give me a pay raise, and she's like, nah, he can still work the job, he can get the promotion and everything, more hours, but he still is going to make minimum wage. And my store lead at the time was like, no, that's not happening. She fought for me to get that pay raise. Thank God. But thankfully that district manager's gone. She was one of the 50 that got fired, so that tells you how that ended up.
Oh, yeah, I would feel bad, but it sounds like she was a shitty human being, so
she was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's some interesting stories about GameStop going on right now. That's all I'm going to say.
About it.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to not go negative too bad.
Well, unfortunately, Will, we're going to have to go a little negative here in this next story here. Number 4, The Last of Us Part 2 is getting delayed again, and it's getting delayed indefinitely here. I'm going to read a little bit here from my boy, Jason Schreier, over at Kotaku here. The much-anticipated post-apocalyptic adventure game The Last of Us 2 will be delayed indefinitely due to the coronavirus pandemic, publisher Sony said today. In a tweet from Sony, SIE has made the difficult decision to delay the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR until further notice. Logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. The game, which had been previously scheduled for May 29th, is nearly done and ready to go, a Naughty Dog developer told Kotaku this afternoon. This was the decision made for logistical and economic reasons. And then I'm going to read the specific tweet that Naughty Dog, the developer of the game, released out for everyone here. From their official Twitter account here. As you've likely just seen, the release of The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We want to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is we're nearly done with development of The Last of Us Part 2. We are in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time when we can solve these logistics issues. We were bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood it's what's best and fair to all of our players. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay, and we'll update you as soon as we have new information to share. We wish you all, your families, and your friends the best of health. Thank you for being amazing fans and your continued support. Stay safe. Naughty Dog. What do you guys think about this? I have some thoughts. I'm going to let you guys go first.
Go for it, Kevin.
Okay. There's two things that come to mind for it. A, the logistics I can understand because, again, working at GameStop, that's been our main concern is logistics. Yes, we've been getting games that are supposed to be coming out. Like we did, thank God, get our Final Fantasy VII copies in. But other than that, we have not gotten in anything else we need. Like, I have not gotten in any new controllers I need to sell. No new, like, accessories. Like, I'm running low at the store, minus what we're getting for that. So that part I can understand, but then there's something else I've heard rumors about. Part of the reason they may be holding off is this close to getting close to the PS5. Me and my story think they may possibly hold off and try to come up with an upgrade and launch it with PS5 versus PS4. Again, rumors that we've heard running around in the district, but not something that could not be considered.
Yeah. Go ahead. Well, sorry.
I can see the delay. Honestly, it's probably more Sony not wanting to ship a digital-only game when it's such a high-profile game, and there's so many people out there whose internet is not good enough to download the whole game still. Right now, I understand that life. It took 3 days for Final Fantasy VII Remake to download over my current connection issues.
Really? Holy crap.
I mean, that's what I'm assuming, because my PS3 was just straight running, or PS4, sorry. PS3's on top of it. Was running fans full blow for like a day. I was like, oh, Jesus, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. But other than that, who's going to drop a digital game when a lot of people want to have the physical collector's editions for arguably the successor to the last game that was the best game of its generation?
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, Cam, I see you over there. But
hey, look, I got my email from Amazon telling me we're really sorry, Cam, but we're gonna have to delay this game. Like, whatever. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Now that being said, I also see at this point where, Kev, I think you're right with everything going on, man. I think it's more of, hey, if we're gonna delay it because of this logistics thing, we may as well just get the PS5 version ready to go. So that way, when we launch it, we just launch both.
Now, here's the thing I'm wondering. Are they going to launch on both PS4 and PS5, or are they going to launch on just one or the other?
No, they would do both because to alienate 100 million consoles that are out there that you promised them they'd be able to play this would be the biggest PR blunder move they could make, outside of saying that, hey, you're not going to be able to sell your used game.
Yeah.
Or share games with your friends.
They won't do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already had a small team working on a PS5 version of the game, like update, whatever, behind the shadows anyway. I think for a lot of these games like The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, even to some extent, depending on the workload over at Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII Remake, they've known that this next-gen system's coming out this year, so I'm not going to put it past them to be working on that in the background. I think that delaying it indefinitely does give them that chance, like, okay, hey, now while we're at home, the game's almost finished, we've got an indefinite delay out, let's go ahead and work on the PS5 patch as well. So I agree with you guys. I'm not going to be surprised about a PS4 and a PS5 simultaneous release whenever it comes out, whenever the date is. I think, I agree. I think logistically, and funny enough, Jason Schreier, he quoted his own tweet talking about this from a couple of months back, that he expected like games from March and April. These are on track to get released on time, but after April, it's a coin flip on if games are going to get released on time, depending on where they're at, because they're just not, some people forget, or we just don't think about it, like, especially physical, digital aside, I'm going to push that over here for a minute, but physical, you still have to have people in the factories that are printing the games on the physical media, then putting them in the boxes, then sealing them up, then putting in them packaged in crates and whatnot, and then shipping them off wherever they need to go. And with a lot of areas where that's at, in China and other countries around the globe that are shut down because of this COVID-19 stuff, that's definitely going to put some sort of delay on there. And I'm really curious what this COVID-19 stuff is going to do to digital distribution. Like once we come out of this, when we come on the other end, because will it increase digital adoption? I say that knowing that there are still large, in America alone, there are still large parts of the country that don't have reliable internet to download digital-only games, and they have to rely on physical and go to stores like GameStop, like Target, like Best Buy, whatever, to pick their game up, because that's the only way they're going to be able to play it. But I'm curious if that adoption rate will bump up a little bit once we get on the other side of this. But my other hidden agenda and reason for this, why I think it got delayed, was simply because they didn't want the story getting spoiled for anybody. Because it haven't talked about it, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, Square, what they did to kind of combat the virus is that since they were seeing they had shipment concerns and logistical concerns, they decided, hey, we're going to ship the game early to certain parts of the world. So if you're in Europe or Australia, you might actually have the game already or have been playing it. Which, bravo to you and kudos to you, because I have not seen that many Final Fantasy VII Remake spoilers or streams online. So that's awesome. But everybody else is still getting theirs. That was a push to try and make sure that everybody, or as many people as possible, got it on April 10th. Now, there are some cool little twists and turns in the story, but for the most part, that is a game that has been out for 20 plus years, and people know generally the story of that game. The Last of Us Part 2, Will, as you put it, is like the sequel to one of the best games of the last generation. And I think a part of it was like, if there was any impact to logistical concerns, I think Sony and or Naughty Dog did not want to have split shipments and have the story spoiled for anybody else. Because like you said, this is one of the biggest, this is up there with Cyberpunk 2077. It's one of the biggest game releases this year. And so I think that was part of it, that they just didn't want the story spoiled for everybody else. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
There's also something else you mentioned about the PlayStation coming out this year. There's some heating rumors that may end up causing a delay because of that.
We'll see. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm waiting until I hear from, because I have.
Oh, I said, rumor. I did say rumor.
No, you did say rumor. It's just very interesting because I've heard that, and then I've had people come out and say no, that some people are coming in saying that is purely rumor, like a false claim that it's. I hate using it on the show here, but it's, some people have called it fanboy, stoking the fire. It's very interesting stuff. I've seen a lot of articles back and forth. I think you shared me a video, Will, and then I saw another video today saying no, this is literally not happening. But I don't know. I'll wait until either Digital Foundry or Kotaku releases an article.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that Sony would give Digital Foundry the same access that Microsoft gives them.
They won't.
Which is a shame, because they're probably the best hardware guys out there to dissect it and actually explain what it's doing to everybody. But
they do a very good job, and they do great with their visuals and whatnot about showing, here's what we're talking about, here's what it means, and kind of breaking it down for people. I agree. Yep. The Cash family in chat says production issues. I will tell you what I told my floor supervisor when she refused to do a process change. You do a repetitive task for a living, I can replace you with a button that says start. Oh, man. That's...
I mean, yeah, here's the thing. How much upfront investment are you going to have to make and then have maintenance technicians come in and fix it on a regular basis? Also, Cash family, right now, AMD graphics are putting off less heat than NVIDIA, so please try again with that.
Ooh, snap. Fight. No fights. Please, no fights.
I'm gonna grab my bag of Cheetos before this starts.
Please.
Cheetos, popcorn, whatever.
I got some popcorn in the kitchen. I can grab that. But I think if anything, this, I'm very excited for this game, and maybe it gives Naughty Dog a little more time to not crunch as hard, and maybe pull back a little bit so they can make sure everything's they dotted their I's and crossed their T's. But
I guarantee you they're crunching. That's not
you
going to
know what?
stop.
If nothing else, at the end of the day, there is a quote that comes to mind from Hideo Kojima himself. A rushed game is no game at all. A delayed game is a good game.
That's not Kojima.
That's a Miyamoto quote.
I thought it was.
No, that's Shigeru Miyamoto.
It's Miyamoto.
Oh. I could have sworn that was Hideo Kojima.
Kojima's not that cool. He's cool, but he's not that cool.
Hey, never put down Hideo Kojima. That's blasphemy.
He did walk down on
a pillar of light.
Yeah, he did walk down the pillar of light. You're right.
So to read it verbatim, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad.
Yeah. Truth.
There you go.
So, but like, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, got Doom Eternal, Animal Crossing, Resident Evil 3, literally Gears Tactics, Cyberpunk 2070, DBZ, like there are plenty of games, and that's just the stuff we know about. We're not even talking about the remainder of the year. So, if they got to do what they got to do, that's fine.
Oh.
Story number 5. If you were expecting Bethesda to show up at E3, you were sadly mistaken this year. Bethesda.
E3?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in this article too. Bethesda is not hosting a digital E3 showcase this June. Reading from James Batchelor over at GameIndustry.biz. Bethesda will not be among the publishers hosting a digital showcase to fill the void of E3 this summer. E3 2020 was canceled last month in light of the growing issues surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic, but organizers at the ESA said they were working with game firms to run online versions of their annual press conferences. However, Bethesda's global senior VP of marketing and communication, Pete Hines, has announced via Twitter that his team will not be joining them. Quote, "Given the many challenges we're facing due to the pandemic, we will not host a digital showcase in June," he wrote. "We have lots of exciting things to share about our games and look forward to telling you more in the coming months." Bethesda is usually among the first to announce new games around E3, with its conference following the EA and Microsoft showcases during the weekend before the trade show even begins. What do you guys think? I
think Bethesda's shooting himself in the foot by not doing this. I mean,
really,
what game developer's not going to be doing a digital conference this year? I mean, think about it. Sony kind of went with it last year, and it hurt them a little bit, but they did get their news out earlier than E3, so they could get the news out to a focused audience that wasn't worried about missing the stream because they wanted to catch, say, Ubisoft or Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the thing I'm wondering is this: what would Bethesda bring to E3 this year? Because
that's it.
Let's face it, Fallout 76 is still, in my opinion, a cluster muck of trouble between the server issues, them trying to get the AIs to work properly. It's just, what else can they focus on right now besides trying to fix that game alone?
And don't you dare tell me, Bethesda, that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be functional. Don't you lie to me like that.
They're still working on Starfield. I think Starfield is the next one in line, and then they get to work on Elder Scrolls 6.
And if it's on the same engine, it's still shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't released a fixed game since mid-2000s.
You're not going to hear any disagreements.
But to be honest, though, I don't think it's going to hurt them any more than they've already hurt themselves to not be at E3, because with everything that's going on, yeah, I can understand where you can't get people to the office in order to do the digital production for it, to be able to put on the show streaming wise, and at the same time finding the content to put into that show. I think all that being said, that may be why they're not doing so, but it would take me seeing what they have planned for the coming year and a half to see if that really is the case or not. Because if they don't do an E3 stream and then 6 months from now go, hey, we've got a game coming out next January, everyone's immediately going to be like, okay, why didn't you announce this sooner?
Yeah, I can kind of see that. It's just but I agree with you, Kevin. Like, I don't. What do they have? They had that one game that was kind of cool with the Death Clock or something. No, that's the name of the band in that show.
Metalocalypse.
Yeah,
is the name of the show. Metalocalypse.
What's you guys, do you guys remember what I'm talking about? It was the two people, and they were assassins, and they were attacking each other. But then, like, they would like loop back in the time, and then come back. Oh God.
Okay, that's not Spy versus Spy. I thought that's what you were
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
at
no,
first.
no. Oh, what did they? I'm googling it right now. I cannot remember the game. Is Death something or? Well, they had Ghostwire Tokyo. They're still working on that. Deathloop is the game I'm thinking of. They had Ghostwire, which we haven't heard anything since. About Deathloop, which we haven't heard anything since. But everything else that they have, like, if you look at the E3 announcement from last year, Wolfenstein Youngblood is released, Rage 2 is released, Elder Scrolls Blades is released, Fallout 76, all their updates and patches, those got released. Doom Eternal's released. Well, okay, you're correct. You're like, oh, they didn't release it yet.
Yeah. The thing I've noticed with Bethesda is this. They're on a trend where they're no longer pushing quality over quantity, if I can say that. I mean, I'm just being honest, because it's coming from this. I played Rage 2. I beat that game in 6 hours, and I still don't even know what was going on during half the game, and I didn't even get all the weapons.
I felt like Rage 2 was a waste of my $60.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rage 2 was it was a very...
See, between that and then the launch of Fallout 76, I'm sorry, at this point, for me, Bethesda has become a company that wants to push the quantity of games they put out versus the quality of them. Because the amount of patches Fallout 76 has gone through, that's not a quality game at all. I still stand by the fact that if you had just come up with Fallout 4 with a 4-player co-op, that would have been better than 76.
It should have just been a DLC expansion pass you buy. That it's like, oh hey, now you can play with more people on this map. Go.
Agreed.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or make it 3 players so you can be like, the Division or whatever if you want. I don't care.
There you go,
No,
family.
Division does 4.
There's my response to you for that comment in Twitch chat.
Oh no. You forgot the caps. They
Okay,
you need to give them the caps as well.
Put the caps in there too. So Bethesda won't be there, and kind of in a segue into the last story here, it was very interesting because I posted that tweet, Will, and I didn't know no context. And you got through. There was a tweet that I posted in our Discord, and I can't change it because if I do it, then nobody's going to see your guys' pretty faces. But it was more or less the gist of it was that technically it hasn't E3 kind of reaffirmed the fact that ESA reaffirmed the fact that they are going to have E3 2021 next year. They announced the dates for them, but there was no confirmation, and it almost made it sound as though they were not planning to do a digital event this year at all.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And so good guy IGN put on their hats and said, you know what? Give me my beer. We'll take care of this. Story number 6: E3 is taking over. IGN is taking over E3 duties. Reading from Jonathan Dornbush, officially over at IGN. IGN announces a Summer of Gaming event in June. IGN is proud to announce our new Summer of Gaming event, a global digital event set to begin this June to bring you the latest news and impressions around upcoming games and the next generation of console hardware. IGN will be collaborating with a number of partners for the Summer of Gaming, including 2K, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Amazon, Google Stadia, Twitter, Devolver Digital, THQ Nordic, and more. Expect more details in the coming weeks. The event will include live broadcasts and on-demand programming featuring IGN's editorial coverage of the work of game developers from around the world. With E3 2020 canceled, IGN has a suite of programming planned to kick off in early June. It includes publisher presentations with IGN pre- and post-discussions, remote developer interviews, hands-on demos, and preview impressions, gameplay, and news segments recapping the biggest announcements. Audiences at home around the world can participate as well, sending in reaction videos, voting on fan-favorite announcements, and more. IGN's global coverage spans 112 countries and 25 languages and aims to ensure that fans can enjoy this incredible digital experience regardless of what device or platform they use. IGN's live programming can be accessed on any one of IGN's more than 20 platforms, including desktop, mobile, OTT, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mixer, Twitch, Snapchat, Discover, TikTok, and more. A little bit more to the article, and they have a cool video that covers all of that. What do you guys think about this? Because I have thoughts on this too.
I'm surprised IGN was willing to step up and do the work, honestly. Lately, a lot of their stuff has been very clickbaity and very low-hanging fruit, as far as from what I've seen. Whereas I've seen people like Eurogamer actually pulling a lot of the weight lately. So this is interesting. I wonder how it's going to work.
Yeah, for me, I'm wondering if this is going to be something that pulls IGN out of the rut, because there was a while there where they weren't putting out anything hardly. Like, I remember their YouTube channel at one point became private, and you could no longer view the past videos.
Really? Whoa, I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that used to be the place I go to watch Battlefield Friends, which is an animated series, and they had it on their, what was their YouTube channel for that? The Machinima channel that they owned, and they made that private. So you can no longer view the videos. And after that, I didn't really see much from IGN. So for them to step up, I feel like it's a dual-pronged sword. They're both going to be helping out the gaming industry and at the same time helping themselves get back into the gaming industry as a well-known name.
You guys have watched in some aspect in past E3s the IGN coverage for E3, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am with a lot of talk this year about like E3 not going on this year and people doing digital events. Like, could this be the nail in the coffin for E3 in its current iteration, and force them to evolve in order to stay relevant? Like, IGN has always had great production quality on their videos, and they have the access. They can, I don't want to, maybe depending on the scenario, they probably have the same access that they do to as the ESA does. And so if this goes off without a hitch, basically telling developers, hey, the ESA won't do it, so you send us your videos, we do this on a daily basis, we'll cut the videos, we'll cut the reels, we'll reach out to people via videos or via live chats and whatnot, and we'll have talks with the developers and do gameplay demos and whatnot, and we'll handle that. Could this, in one weird parallel dimension, world way, whatever, be the new E3? Could IGN be like pull the thunder away from E3 and the ESA, and if this goes off well, saying, oh, you know what, now IGN does a Summer of Gaming event all the time now?
I don't think that'd be the case, because as much as all digital events are going to be popular, there's still that social aspect that E3 brought that I think you just simply can't get rid of. Between the demos they set up, the multiplayer setups where you can game with other people, the amount of cosplayers that come out to these events, I don't think it's going to be able to put it into a coffin at all, if you ask me. It's one of them deals that if they try, I feel they're going to have more backlash than they are popular PR.
I think that, if I countered that, I would say go to PAX. Because it's about the same thing. But I don't disagree with you there. I just, as we've talked about on the show multiple times, like, E3, I think, is still stuck in the past of games, and I think that something has to be done to kind of bring them into what gamers and audiences want now, than what's been going on before. I mean, I was, no joke, very heavily considering going to E3 because that would be a great, for Rocket Punch and for us, it would be a great way to interact with other people in the industry and get to know people and network and whatnot.
Funny enough, before all this started happening late last year, Cam and I were talking. He was talking about E3 and I was CX.
And guess what? Both of those got canceled.
So it's just like, oh, thanks, COVID. Thanks so much.
Screwed my year up. God.
Oh, by the way, Cam, I have a quote for you. It's from a famously hated film. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Will.
It's good. The movie was good. There were some quirks with it, but it was fine. It was fine.
Hey, I said it was famously hated.
Okay, you did say that.
Don't even get me started on Star Wars right now. Oh, don't even get me started.
Look, hey, if you're feeling down on Star Wars, just think about The Mandalorian, and everything will be better.
Well, between that and the Clone Wars, they did do something positive at least. But
Well,
you know,
Filoni was involved in both. That's why.
yeah, true. And as the old saying goes, a broken clock is right at least twice a day.
It's true. That is
Or, you know, Star Wars is Star Wars when Filoni's involved and they bring George Lucas in to consult, because that's what they did.
Yeah.
Good point. So, I'm curious what we'll have to see, but it is exciting to see that somebody's kind of taking over. Like, it will make it very easy when you can say there is one place you have to go to see all of the E3 coverage, and that's IGN.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern for these digital events was how am I going to get the news, generally speaking? Am I going to have to actually look into each YouTube channel or Twitch channel for these developers, or is there going to be, like they've done in past years, a singular channel that streams all of it? And with IGN stepping up, I'm hoping to God that that's going to be the case, that each developer is going to get with IGN, set a time, and then IGN streams it all in one go and gives reactions and impressions. If they do that, then it will be a good E3. If not, I got a feeling it's not going to go as planned.
Yeah. Well, only time will tell, right? We're in April, so we're just a few months away from seeing it. That's all for the news here. Before we get into table talk, though, and take our quick break, we're going to jump into some required viewing.
Yes, I got it.
Number one, the IGN interview with Phil Spencer. Kevin, I sent this to you, and you've not seen this, and I'm shocked because you are a big Xbox fan.
I did watch it last night, though, and it was a good interview, and there was a lot of good things coming from that.
Yes, if you have... I mean, go ahead, Will, I'm sorry.
No, not just that, but it's very interesting what the future holds if Phil gets his way.
Yeah, like, it doesn't even matter if you're an Xbox fan or not. This is a great interview of gaming industry veterans talking about games and just video games in general. Go watch this interview or listen to it. It's on podcast services. It was Phil talked to IGN's Ryan McCaffrey for Podcast Unlocked, one of my favorite Xbox podcasts I listen to. It's always on my list there. I love Ryan McCaffrey and everything that he does. So check it out. It's a really great interview, very insightful, and just a very candid talk with Phil, which that's one thing about Phil that I really like, is that, you know, he's not going to give you everything you want, but he's going to be very candid with you about the course that they're going with, and he is kind of the focal point of what Xbox, I think, as a whole is really doing this generation, or this upcoming generation.
I'm going to read this because it got redeemed for the Rocket, but Halo Atlantis, you wounded me with this. Avengers Endgame replaced Robert Downey Jr. with Gilbert Gottfried. Halo, I may have to ban you.
Ban him with Thor's hammer.
That's funny.
So horrible. Actually, let me take a moment, because in this required viewing, I want to read a couple of these comments, because these are actual people who have thrown some stuff up, and it's kind of insightful on where the gaming community is right now. Claudio Luis, I just love how Phil openly talks about Microsoft's past mistakes instead of pretending it never happened. And then the other guy, Raymond Stockton, just 2 comments down. The dude was born to lead Xbox. He's been working his ass off and makes me so proud to be an owner.
Yeah, he was. Remember, it sucks so much because he was the one that when the Xbox One came out, he was the face when they had to announce the price of the Xbox One, that they're the one, they put his face on stage, and you could tell in his face when he said it, he was like,
Yeah, that reminds me. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, the pricing bit, that was the one thing I took away from this interview that I loved. He said that they're going to be flexible on it. And the one thing that I heard that made me jaw drop, he said, if we have to take a hit to get the console onto the market at first, we may very well do that. And when I heard that, the first thing I thought was, wow, Microsoft has learned from their past mistakes, and they're going with a community focus first, not a profit-driven plan. And that's what makes me so excited to see what happens.
And see, I think their profits are up right now on Xbox from things like Game Pass, because they said people on Game Pass are buying 30-something% more games now because they're playing games they never would have. So that's an interesting thing, that I wonder if they're getting more back on the software licensing, because people are buying more games and they're paying for the subscription service than they are paying on the hardware.
And
there's some interesting stuff going on.
This is another tweet I put in Twitch chat. So Ryan McCaffrey did a reaction thread to his interview with Xbox, and there's a lot of insightful stuff. But I'm definitely like that agility comment that he made about the pricing as well. That definitely puts them in a big place, because I know Seth and I have talked about it on Console Wars before, and he's bringing it up here. Like, if being willing to take a hit is on those console prices, even if it says, they have to bring their console in parity, for example, let's just say that Xbox is at one price and then PlayStation 5 is at a lower price. If them being willing to say, hey, if we have to, we'll drop the price in order to match our competition, I think that, again, that shows that Xbox is in the right mindset to try and take the lead over and start this generation infinitely better than they did last generation.
Well, the one thing I would love to see Microsoft do as far as the pricing plan goes, they've already confirmed that previous accessories are going to work from the Xbox One to the Series X. I wonder if they're going to offer a console bundle where you get just the console and the cables required to operate it, but it's one of them deals that, hey, if you have an Xbox One, here's a lower price console, just go ahead and sync one of your spare controllers and your headsets to it and you're good to go. I'm wondering if that may be a possibility.
Another thing that would be interesting is that, and not taking your employer into account, I wonder if they would offer like a recycling trade-up program where, hey, you got a 1X, do you want to trade that in on the Series X and get, say, $150 for it?
I've been really hoping that, and Microsoft can do it more than Sony, because Sony would have to rely on third-party outlets like GameStops and Best Buys to do it, but like Microsoft has Microsoft stores, and I would really love to see them like, hey, if you want to get to the next generation, if you have an Xbox One X, which if you don't have one right now, they are literally dirt cheap. You can pick them up for like, I think like $249 or $299 online, bundled in with a bunch of stuff. They've got very good deals right now. Like, bring your system into a Microsoft store and we'll give you like $200 off of it, something like that. So we can recycle them, and then they can, maybe resell those. I don't know, but that would be very.
The counter argument I would have to that, though, Cameron, would be the fact that there's not as many Microsoft stores readily available as third-party stores, because that's the biggest complaint I've had with the physical stores. The closest one that I've seen is over in Georgia when it comes to Alabama. If they up the amount of stores they have.
I was going to say, I think there's one in Nashville and one in Atlanta.
There is one in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those would be our two closest for North Alabama.
Yeah, so my counter argument would be the recycling program, if they did it just with the Microsoft stores, would not be as successful as if they did do it with both the Microsoft stores and third-party sellers. But at the same time, if they went ahead and started opening more Microsoft stores in each state, then I could see that program taking off.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I say that because, for people who may forget, like, if you want an Xbox, if you go to a Microsoft store, you can sign up for one of their leasing programs where you can pay something up $30, $40 a month and get a console membership.
You can do that on Amazon as well.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can do it online with Amazon. What they do is they do the same thing I think Apple does, where they use Citizen One Bank, and it's a 0% interest loan over 24 months.
Cool.
You just got to have the credit for it.
You remember that interview when Phil said that Sony and Nintendo weren't as competitors and that Amazon and Google were? Those were good times. It was so funny. The other required viewing, and for everybody who's has stay-at-home orders, you need to listen up to this. HBO, if you did not know, is making hundreds of hours of film and TV free to stream without a subscription. This was really cool by HBO, but we have we'll put the link in the show notes here, and I'll put it in chat for you guys. But HBO is making a huge library list available for free to watch during this downtime. I'm going to list off some of the series because I've seen some of these. Ballers, all 5 seasons of Ballers, the show Barry, Silicon Valley, which if you're a techie guy, that is hilarious. It's from Mike Judge, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm always in that. 6 Feet Under, The Sopranos, Succession, True Blood, Veep, The Wire, all free. Documents or docu-series and documentaries. The Apollo, The Case Against Adhins. Cool, whatever. Warner Brothers movies. Arthur 2 on the Rocks, Blinded by the Light, The Bridges of Madison County, Crazy Stupid Love, Empires of the Sun, Lego Movie 2, My Dog Skip, Nancy Drew, Pan, Pokemon, Detective Pikachu, a lot of cool movies and shows you guys can check out there if you haven't had a chance to already. So,
got a comment on the Cash family. He says nothing as weird as Tiger King. I don't have Netflix. I haven't seen the show, but I hear Carol Baskin is insane from everything I've seen on the internet.
I haven't seen that show either, and I don't intend. I'm sorry, just don't get that.
Well, I guess I'm the solo man here because I've seen bits and pieces because my wife has been watching it. That show, it's like watching two hillbillies go back and forth over who's got the better tiger zoo.
So I have a question. Since you've seen parts of it, would you say it's a mix between Lion King, rednecks, and meth addicts?
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate description.
Okay. Because everything I've seen online makes me think that, and I'm like,
there's one part, the guy, I can't remember his name, but he's like, you know what? If you want to come on the property, this is what's going to happen. And he takes a shotgun and just unloads it into a lake. I'm like, why are you wasting the ammo?
Because he's a redneck meth addict? I don't know.
I wouldn't even say redneck. The thing I've seen is this: rednecks are normals. Hillbillies are the ones that are abnormal, and he is like beyond hillbilly.
So, like Mountains of West Virginia kind of hillbilly, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's funny. But those are the required viewings there, guys. Up next is Table Talk here. We're going to take a quick break here, get refueled on water, and use the bathroom. But we're coming back to Table Talk. We're finally going to start talking, get real deep into Resident Evil 3. We've played it. We're going to give our impressions of it. We're also going to be talking about a bit of dealing with the struggles of having to live in a world with COVID-19 and kind of like, I know, Will, you've been jumping back into some old games and classics there, so I'm really excited to chat with everybody about that. But we'll take a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Okay, and we're back from break. Everyone got their refills, got their bladders cleaned out. They're ready to go into some Table Talk. For people who are new, Table Talk is where we sit and hang out. We chat with everybody in chat and goof off, talk about some of the games we've been playing and other game-related activities we've been doing throughout the week. Since Kevin, aka Sniper Eye, has come in, he's joined us for this particular episode. There's Doggy.
Oh, this is Marlon. He was sitting here at my feet. So
forget everything else. I want
to reach through and pet him.
Hi, Marlon.
He can't.
Hey, Marlon.
But yeah, he came over, harassed me. He's like, "Come on, I want to eat."
It's funny you bring a dog because the game we're talking about does have dogs in them. Resident Evil 3 Remake has been released. It's out now. We've played it. I've played it. Kevin, you've played it. Will, have you played it?
No, I haven't finished 2, and I've been playing Animal Crossing and a bunch of Game Boy games and GameCube games. So
okay. No. You're cool. So just hang out and ask questions. But first things first, we're going to talk about our impressions of the Resident Evil 3 Remake. As the guest, Kevin, you get to go first. The game is out. You were dressed for the occasion.
Yes.
For some people who
still kind of am at the moment, if you see.
Yeah. For people who aren't watching the video.
Umbrella Corp 2020. That's what I heard.
Oh boy.
Yep. It's like, hey, we got a COVID-19 crisis. Say no more. Umbrella's here to take care of those needs.
But like, what you've played the game? What do you think about the game? Let's start. Let's put it in chunks here. Let's talk about the campaign, single player campaign. What do you think?
It's amazing. It's one of them games that it's got the survival horror, it's got the action, it's got segments of both, segments of each, and since it is a remake, it is on par, if not better, than the original. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. It's on par, if not better.
Then
from a guy that's
wow. Okay.
I'm talking Resident Evil 3 on the PlayStation 1, the original.
Okay, the original.
Yes, sorry, I should have been more specific. Yes, comparing the two, comparing Resident Evil 3 PlayStation 1, Resident Evil 3 Remake for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, they are right at each other's throat on which one's better. And honestly, I could not decide.
Yeah, because
They're both that good.
I didn't play. We talked about it off mic, but I haven't played the original one. Will, did you play the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis?
No, I did not.
He still has in the case.
Yes, I still have it. This is my coveted love and joy. For those of you who can't see, I'm holding Resident Evil 3 for the PlayStation in its original case and artwork. And
Nice.
I got so lucky when I found this thing.
Is that a Dino Crisis little ad on there too?
Yes, because this is the one that when you flipped it open, had the Dino Crisis demo disc.
Nice.
Man.
All right, that's dope.
When are they going to remake that?
Oh God, there's already a fan project in the makes for that. I'll have to send you the link.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Halo Atlantis, the Dreamcast died for certain reasons, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
The Dreamcast died for our sins. That's what happened with the Dreamcast. See, this is the one thing I don't like about social distancing is I can't experience Will's facial expressions in real time, like real life. I have to view it through a computer screen.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like I wanna look to my right, but you're not there.
I'm not. I want to look to the left like, oh, you doing okay? He's not doing anything. But no, it. I actually had so I never played Resident Evil 3. I never played Resident Evil 2, and the remake when it came out last year, I loved that game. I think it was a finalist, like number 2 on my favorite games of 2019. It was 2 or 3. It was one of the 2. I loved Resident Evil 2 remake. It was really good. Playing through that, it was awesome. And this one,
that's
win.
That's what got me excited about it. Between the remake for 2 and then 3, the thing that got me excited for 3 was how well 2 did.
Yes, 2 did very, very well. I haven't seen any sales. I doubt I'll see any sales numbers for 3 until next week. But
well, it's not even that. It's how well they did the game. Like, I haven't played the original games back in the PlayStation 1 era, which I played them on the PS2. Don't judge. But
no
haven't
judgment
played
here.
the originals. Haven't played them and then played the remakes. It was when they announced Resident Evil 2 remake, I was skeptical at first. I was like, okay,
interesting.
How well are they going to do it? Are they going to try to retcon the whole story and go a different direction? Are they just going to do the original story with the same graphics, or how are they going to do it? Not only did they keep the core story, in my opinion, they added on to it and made it better. They made it a more cinematic experience where they couldn't do it back in the day with the original graphics. So having seen what they did for 2, when they announced 3, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need right now. I don't need another one because I'll go ahead and say it. It's an unpopular opinion. Resident Evil 7 is not a Resident Evil game. It was the worst one they made.
What?
Yes.
Get out of
sorry.
here.
That game does not tie into Resident Evil other than by name and by the little bit they added on with Chris and the new Umbrella Corporation. Other than that, it does not tie in at all.
I loved 7. It was so good.
That being said, it was a good game. Don't get me wrong about that. But it was not Resident Evil. If they had named it something else, it still would have been great. But for them to call it Resident Evil was not the case. So, like I said, that being the case with 3, that they remade it and added on to it, it's amazing for that reason alone. Because you could play the original, and you're not going to know what's going to happen in the remake.
True. But, Resident Evil 3, it was such fun. Like, jumping in, playing through. I don't want to spoil anything, because it's only been out for a weekend, so I don't want to spoil anything for any of the viewers out there. But, definitely more action paced. A lot of like shooting and whatnot. I liked Jill's. She could like dodge and like avoid zombies. It's still at the end of the game. I still have trouble nailing that down. I really.
You're not the only one. I have trouble with it as well. It's one of the deals you have to do it perfectly on the timing, but it's satisfying when you do, because not only does it have this little screen motion it does. It allows you to nail a critical shot, and when you do it with a zombie and then their head explodes, oh, it's so satisfying.
Ooh, I haven't done that. I haven't done it with the zombie specifically, but no, this game was a whole lot of fun. Like it had a lot of ties to RE2, so it felt, if you played the Resident Evil 2 remake from last year, literally pick this up, then other than the dodge control mechanic, everything feels exactly the same. It still plays exactly the same. It plays very similarly to that. I think having the fact that you're in the city was really cool, and you're walking around like all the new environments. These, it felt like there were more zombies than 2. So I remember like turning the corner and there are like these 5 or 6 zombies, and I'm having to make the decision like, okay, do I want to go ahead and blow my ammo to take them down, or do I want to actually go in and like, okay, let me see if I can dodge this guy and I can avoid him, or you maybe use one of the environment traps.
I was going to say real quick, I want to pause on that specific note, because that's the one thing I love about this one. 2 was one of the games that it was very limited on the ammo. They made you stick with the inventory and choose what you're going to carry. And 9 times out of 10, you weren't fighting more than you were running. RE3, they threw that completely out the window. They added so much ammo, especially on the assisted mode. The assisted mode, which is like easy mode basically for everyone. You start with an assault rifle, you start with 120 extra rounds, you find ammo like crazy. I played through on standard and found I was running more than fighting in certain occasions, but going back in assistant, you can throw it out the window and just go full-on Rambo, and that's what I love about it, because it gives you the choices, but the choices are there to fight if you want to fight, and it does reward you if you do.
Okay. I want to give a special shout-out. BlackRock14 rated us as 3 people. Thank you, BlackRock. Welcome to the podcast. We're in Table Talk talking about Resident Evil 3 Remake now, so get comfy, grab you something to drink, sit back, relax, and have fun with us. Ooh, but then he says in chat, time to confess a sin. He's never played any Resident Evil games. And, you know, that's okay. Like, I said it earlier, like, my first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil, the remake on the GameCube. For the people that remember that one.
Oh, yeah. Which, that one was amazing. They kept the original camera angles. They kept the original gameplay. They just remastered the graphics. So
it looked really, really good.
But I gotta be honest, my first Resident Evil was 4.
Why did so many people say they started with RE4? That wasn't even a good one, in my opinion.
I'll tell you why. Actually, I can tell you exactly why. Because I had a GameCube. I got it for Christmas. And my mother wasn't involved in the purchase. My dad was.
That's how we got access.
My dad was like, oh, Dragon Ball game? Sure. Oh, Resident Evil? Yeah, that looks fine. Come on, give that too. My dad didn't care. My mom was like, none of these wrestling games and none of these shooting games. My dad's like, here's all the guns. By the way, here's a real gun. Let's go.
The wrestling
to be fair, though,
best part.
RE4 did have a good story, at least. I will give you that one, at least, Will.
BlackRock says same. But I think I liked... It was very interesting to have to go through and make decisions like that, where I'm having like, ooh, do I want to... I have enough ammo. Do I want to empty the ammo here, but I'm not sure what's around the corner? You know what? Ooh, there's an environment trap. Let me stun these guys and see if I can snake through them to get to my next
Yes, that's one of the amazing things, those environment traps, man. When you get overwhelmed with zombies, hey, there's a barrel. Oh, instead of spending 9 rounds shooting these zombies, you know what? Let me just pop 1 round and blow up the barrel.
Yep.
And the other thing I found, which I don't think most people realize this playing through because it's so brand new, they did make it each enemy you face actually has a preferred weapon to take them down with that you can sometimes one-shot them. Like, I won't say where or what. There was this one creature using a grenade launcher and a special round for it that I could shoot 1 shot and would die just like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. And so because of that, there was certain areas that, I'd switch from the pistol to the grenade launcher to the shotgun, back to the pistol, and I still had plenty of ammo left to run through versus just having to run and hope I don't get hit.
Yeah. The game was fun. The game was cool. Like, graphically, I hope and pray that Capcom continues to use and leverage the RE engine in all of their games. This engine is freaking gorgeous. Character model, especially like the characters and the faces and animations are just so awesome to see.
The fact you can see their pores on their face, that's what shocked me more than anything with this engine.
Yeah, between Jill and Carlos and the whole gaggle of them, it was really awesome to see. I'm not shifting gears here. We have to talk about him because he's like on the cover and he's the first thing you see when you boot the game up. What did you think about Nemesis?
Oh man, they made them. They made this guy so scary in this one, because the first thing I was worried about was Nemesis. With the new gameplay style they brought with RE2, it is run and gun. You no longer standing still. There's no fixed camera angles. The first thing I thought was, oh god, how scary is the Nemesis going to be now that I can just straight up shoot at him and move at the same time? Well, they found a way to make him scary, all right. He is not necessarily overpowered, but by God, there are moments he makes you feel like you are not worth even fighting.
Yeah. The first one of the first segments in the game was pretty intense.
Yes.
When he pops up.
With trying to avoid giving any spoilers, the first segment where I did fight him, it was on normal. I didn't have enough shotgun rounds to effectively deal with him, I feel like. So when he did come up, I made the choice. Okay, I'm not going to fight him. I'm going to save this ammo because I know I'm going to have to face harder enemies down the road. I'm probably going to see him again. So I went to run. Next thing I know, he grapples a tree, jumps over Spider-Man style, and lands in front of me. And I freaked out. I'm like, oh my god, I can't run? What am I going to do?
He's like, yo, what's up, dog? Where you going?
Yeah, he's like, get back here. You're mine.
I also heard that he can Kool-Aid Man into safe rooms.
Yes, oh my. So, there was this one part, I'm not going to say all the details. I thought he was down. He comes through a wall, and I shot him, down him, and 10 seconds later, he jumps in front of me and knocks me through a door. And I'm freaking out. And I'm just like, oh my god, is he about to follow me in here? And thank God he did not. But that's one thing that I noticed. He can come out of nowhere. And I'm just constantly on my toes wondering, hey, is he coming out this wall? Is he coming through this wall? Is he coming out that wall?
There was one segment where he was chasing me in the streets. And I ended up, like, I unlocked a door to go into one of the toy store to get an item in there. And I grabbed the item, and it was funny because all the zombies were walking around, and I looked through the window, and the Nemesis was just standing there, like just like.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'll wait till you come outside, and you could. There was nowhere else you could go. Like you had to go back outside, and so I'm like, oh god, am I going to make this? And I had to bust through the door and run to try and get away from.
And that was the other thing. The thing he did to the zombies themselves. Well, you guys want me to go ahead and say what it was, or you think that'd be too spoilerish?
That specific thing that was in the trailers. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and just say it then. It's not a spoiler per se. It just tells you that there is a new enemy type. He grabs these zombies and turns their head into a singular tentacle / like face hugger, I guess, for lack of a better term, because they have this massive mouth, and if they grab onto you, they try to literally eat your face off. And I've noticed the claws will actually contract, and you can no longer shoot them in the head. You have to shoot them in the torso. And between the Nemesis doing that to the zombies and the way they made him, the scare factor's on high with him, even though the new camera mode plays against that.
And then, like, those zombies have a long range attack, so they'll use the tentacle and attack you from afar.
Exactly.
And when you're in a room with those and the Nemesis, whoo, boy.
Yeah, at that moment, the fight or flight really kicks in, and you really are trying to decide, hey, what do I do? What do I do?
Look, all I heard is we do not consent.
Yeah, I don't consent to that.
Now, the one thing I've seen reviews about the game, and so I understand some of the points. Are like, so the Nemesis, when the Nemesis is on the scene, if you've played Resident Evil 2 and you've played through Mr. X, basically it's Mr. X on steroids. So like he's still stalking you around there. He's faster. He will jump, literally Michael Jordan air jump across and be like, "Whoa, where you going, dog?" Use his tentacle to slow you down and grab you. All sorts of crazy stuff. I feel like they didn't utilize him in the later half of the game. Like the first part where he's like methodically stalking you across a city, that was nerve-wracking. But then I feel like in the second half of the game, there's a shift where he kind of gets relegated to boss fights.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And I don't know how I don't know how I felt about that, because like they were awesome boss fights. The final one, I'm not going to spoil that, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
Woo, that was awesome. But
I will say this. The reason I think they did that was if they kept him going like they did in the very beginning of the campaign, you wouldn't have gotten near as much story, I feel like. Because, yes, he is a core focus of the game, but he is not the core focus of the game.
Yeah, very true.
The thing I love about 3 is it's showing everything as it's happening in real time. Where Resident Evil 2 was coming into the outbreak with fresh eyes, not knowing what's going on. Resident Evil 3 is the outbreak. This is what's happening during it. And if they had focused on just Nemesis, I feel like you wouldn't have gotten nearly all the story that you would have later on in the game.
I'm curious. I want to ask. So the way the Nemesis plays out, is that the same way that he played out in the original?
Yes and no. He had a few more mutations in this one versus the original. Okay. But then compared to the final fight, I'm not going to say what happens in the final fight, but comparing the two, the remake definitely has the better fight. The one in the original, it wasn't as, what's the word I'm looking for? For lack of a better term, action-packed. It was more patience-based on if you wanted to kill him. Versus this one, I felt I was actually fighting him, and I was actually running towards a goal to defeat him.
Okay. Because I was curious. I wanted to know about that.
Yeah, like I said, it's similar, but this one definitely had more mutations. There was more fights in that aspect. Versus in the original, you fought the Nemesis as he originally looks several times before he ever had a mutation.
Yeah, Winter Robin in chat says, very similar, but yeah, more mutations in the remake. Hello, Winter Robin. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so
hello.
But no, I enjoyed him, like in his menacing ways throughout the game, and some of the places he pops up. There were some that caught me off guard, but I think even more so, and part of this will kind of segue into another talking point I think that a lot of people have mentioned about the game, but like. I like the Nemesis, but I also like the other enemy variants that you see.
Yes. Oh my goodness. The amount of variants they brought in this one is amazing, especially the details they put into them.
Yeah, I know I've heard that I don't think spoiling names is going to be a big deal. So I've heard that the Hunter Gamma is very different in the original than it is in here.
Yes, I will say the enemies you face in this one versus the original RE games are definitely different.
Okay.
They definitely have a better chance of defeating you. They are more easy to defeat if you know how to do so. Mm-hmm. But they generally act, and I love that because for me, having a fresh set of enemies to face threw me off guard. I'm not going to know how to defeat them right off the back. If I played the original one, I'm not going to be able to use that knowledge to defeat these. Yeah. And that's one thing I did like.
Yeah, Winter Robin says gammas, the stupid gammas.
Yes, oh God.
and I think that like these enemies, really thinking about it, like this really plays into the action-focused gameplay that this has, because you know, like in Resident Evil 2, there were a lot of puzzles you have to figure out when you're in the police station, and like getting these components so you can put them into this crest, so you can open the doors, so you can get to the next area. There really wasn't anything like, maybe like one or two segments. There was a segment in the power plant area with that was kind of puzzly, but were there really
the
any
only way
other
that
spots?
It wasn't really puzzly. That was more of a maze for that one. But other than that, yeah, there was no puzzles really. It was more of, hey, I'm in the middle of the outbreak. I know I need a key. Where's the key?
Yeah, you get the key, and then that helps you unlock the doors, and it's pretty standard fare to get through. But like, I think like all the action when you're in these areas, the power plant thing, that had me nervous because of what some of those enemies could do to you.
Right.
What did that happen in the original game?
No, those enemies weren't even in the original game.
I'm
not going to say what they were. They were not. that whole area was not. The powder plant, that was completely new. And that's the other thing I loved about this one. Raccoon City has been remade. It's not the Raccoon City we had in the original game. Because in the original RE3, there is a shot of the ending. I'm not going to say what it was, but it shows the city as a whole. It is significantly smaller than the one in the remake. The remake is about 2 to 3 times bigger.
Really? Okay. That's awesome.
They've made it a modern metropolis, only it's circa 1998.
Yeah.
That is one thing I did love. They did focus on that, it being in 1998.
Winter Robin in chat says absolutely love the heavier focus on the action. It was really cool. A different change of pace, and I think this all plays a little bit into what a lot of people have talked about with this game, and I think it's been one of the big takeaways in reviews and stuff is the length. So, me personally, my total play time was like 7.5 hours. Actually, beating the game was like 5.5 hours. What were your times?
Mine was at 3 hours and 48 minutes, which I did not get all the weapons. I missed out on the Magnum, believe it or not. I didn't get the most powerful gun in the game.
Oh, I went back and got that.
And
yeah, that was awesome.
There was a few things I did miss out that having replayed it already, getting halfway through it again, I did go back and explore the areas I did not explore, and I'm finding more to the game. So while it is a shorter game, I would not say it lacks replayability because it is action-packed, but it does have the scare factor enough that your adrenaline's going to surge, and you're going to have a harder time making decisions. Like, hey, do I want to take an extra minute to search this area even though I've got this horde of zombies right on my tail, or do I want to go ahead and run back to the area I need to go to with what I have in hand?
I mean, the game does very much make it feel like if it's 1 or 2 zombies, you feel pretty safe, but if you, like when you had like 4 or 5 coming at you, I was like, flashbang.
Oh man, I'll go and say it now. It's not a spoiler per se, but I'll go and say the area at least. When you visit the Raccoon Police Department, there was a part where I noticed there's about 10 zombies, and next thing I go, okay, I have a hand grenade, let's use it. Yes. Oh crap, there's 4 more? What?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And that was a really cool part too, so there are some callbacks to the original, or to Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
You go back in there and you're in the mansion for a little bit. That was cool. And my brain was going back like, okay, I know all the rooms now, so I have to go through here and go up the stairs and go through that wall and do all this to get to that next point. So that was pretty fun. I'm
going to go and say it now, though, at least, man. Poor freaking Kendo. I feel bad for the dude.
Man, Kendo, yeah, I did too. Like, the little calls and nods that they did in the game back to Resident Evil 2 with Kendo, with Brad Vickers, with the police officer that Leon meets at the beginning of Resident Evil 2. Marvin, there you go.
Marvin Brannigan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just it. Oh man, it was. Hello, Jack Wolfhard. I see you in chat. Yes, you do have to find time to show us that. Welcome to the stream, sir. Yeah, no, it was just. That sucked there, but it was really cool to kind of see those callbacks in the game. But I'm actually this brings up a debate on for everyone here at the table and everybody in chat on whether, do you guys think that how heavily should game length impact people's critical receptions of a game? Because like it was the action kept me going the entire time, and I never wanted to stop. But, and I look back and I'm like, man, I played for 7.5 hours. That is short, but it didn't. To me personally, it didn't really feel like 7 hours. Like I beat it in a day, and like one evening, and then all day Saturday, most of the day, and I played through and I beat it. So,
for me, I don't think the time it takes to beat it factors in, because like you said, you don't realize it's such a short time. When I played it, I didn't realize it was the first time I played it before I had to stop was only 4 hours long, and it kept me wondering how much further have I got to go. Well, next thing I know, I found I'm right there at the end of the game, and I don't think this counts as a spoiler, but once you do beat the game, it opens up a shop and a whole bunch of challenges, and you have to go back and replay the game in order to get these points to purchase things. Like I know there's an infinite ammo assault rifle. Well, I want to go back and replay it and complete these challenges, and then go back through with that assault rifle and see how it plays.
Yeah, that
so
would be awesome.
I don't think the time factor really plays a role, especially in this one, since it does have a multiplayer mode to it.
Yes, we're going to talk about Resistance here in just a second here.
Based on that topic, though, real quick, where you're talking about how game length shouldn't or should not affect a game as far as like how people feel about it. A game I really love that suffered from this is a game you could actually beat in 2 hours. It's part of the whole Steam refund issue they were running into is Firewatch. The game was excellent. Played it on PlayStation. Awesome game. It's a great story game. I would totally buy it again and play it again. But a lot of people abused the Steam return policy at the time and played the game for free, and they got their money back because of how short it could be. So it's a shame, but a short game doesn't mean it's bad. Personal opinion.
Good points. I'm trying to think.
The comparison I would give to it is this. We see movies that last an hour and a half. We see movies that last 2 hours. We see movies that have lasted 3 hours. Did you ever feel like the movie length for those affected it, whether it was good or not?
I've seen 3-hour movies, and they drug on forever. Batman vs Superman.
Exactly.
Then I've seen 3-hour movies, Avengers Endgame, and it was like, it's been 3 hours? What? I was on the roller coaster the whole time.
Exactly. And I feel like that's the thing Resident Evil did well, both in 2 and 3. It gave you the story, and granted, they didn't rush the story, but even though it's so quick, they gave you a lot in it. Yeah. Especially the cutscenes, man. There's one cutscene I'm not going to mention like what actually happened, but thinking back to it, it was hilarious and awesome all at the same time. So the fact that they delivered that in such a short amount of time, it impressed me.
Winter Robin in chat says, honestly, not really bothered by the length. The original wasn't super long, and the remake flowed well enough that didn't feel as short as it was. She also says,
Agreed.
Firewatch was fantastic.
I will say this. It's not as short as the original. I could beat Resident Evil 3 on the PlayStation 1 quicker than I can the remake.
Okay. That's good to know. Before we get into the multiplayer segment, Kevin, favorite part of the game? Favorite moment? Without spoiling anything.
Favorite moment. Okay, it would spoil it, but it's not a big spoiler, so I will go ahead and mention it. There is a moment in the game when you first start. The main goal is to get a train in the subway back up and going. Well, once you do and you get back, the Nemesis rears his ugly face and kills a lot of people. And when he does, one of the main UBCS operatives, his name's Mikhail, he is on the train and starts shooting at him and gets yanked in. It has a C4 charge. And it just looks at him in a Russian accent and says, "Get off my train, bleep bird," and then blows it up.
Okay.
And I loved it because that was hilarious. It was action-packed. It was cinematic. And it was different from the original.
That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
My favorite moment, and I'm not going to spoil this because this is some pretty decent spoilers, the hospital sequence.
Oh, yes.
The where you have to fend off the zombie horde. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm talking about. That was I was on pins and needles for that entire segment. That was a good segment.
I died in that segment alone about 3 or 4 times because of how crazy it was.
It was about twice for me.
Oh, man.
So, next part of this game here, I haven't played it at all, but you have. Kevin, tell us about Resident Evil Resistance, the multiplayer aspect of this game. How'd you feel about it?
Oh, it's amazing. It does have a few issues because, let's be honest, they did launch the beta a little too late. The beta was going on even up to launch. But it's amazing. It's a 4 versus 1. It's similar to Dead by Daylight in the fact that it's a 4 versus 1 and you have 4 survivors facing a killer. But that's where the similarities end. In Dead by Daylight, if you haven't played the game, of course, the survivors have no way of fighting back. You get the generators on. If the enemy comes, you hide. Resistance? That's not the case. It's the 4 survivors. You get guns, you get weapons, you get herbs. You can work together. They have special abilities. Versus a mastermind who can spawn in zombies, spawn in traps. You can even create a machine gun in the camera that you're using. And the balance between the two, I have found some masterminds on maps are more powerful than survivors. I have found that survivors are more powerful than the mastermind on certain maps. And it's just...
I was going to say, like, who have you played as the survivors or the masterminds or both?
I've played as both. I've tried out both. I've played a good bit into them, about maybe 2 hours total time
Okay.
so far into it, and even have played the beta. It's a fun game because no two rounds are alike. Because at the start of a round, there are 6 different survivors with different skill sets. Like one of them, she's a hacker. She can disable the cameras that the mastermind uses, which
Mhm.
that's your focal point as the mastermind. When you look through the camera, that's how you spawn in the enemies. That's how you see where they are. You have to change cameras. And then there's another who specializes with firearms. There's another who's a tank. It's just there's that for the survivors that makes it interesting. And then they have 4 different masterminds with 4 different ultimate bioweapons. They have William Birkin from Resident Evil 2 that you can spawn in. They have the Tyrant. They have this plant one that you see in the Outbreak series. And it's just you get to actually choose as well as the mastermind. How does the map start out? Hey, where are the keys at? Where are the zombies going to spot? And they're different presets. And that preset, whether you set it right or not, will help you or hurt you.
Okay.
And it's just it's amazing on that alone, because I played through and not a single time did I play through the same preset with the same different survivors with the same key locations. So every single round keeps you on your toes.
Okay. I definitely got. I'm going to play a little bit of it before I start finalizing my review of the game. But Winter Robin in chat says Resistance is tons of fun. Done both, but enjoy Mastermind more. Jack Wolfhart says the Predator game is pretty much the same as Resistance. I forgot they had a beta for the Predator game this weekend. I didn't get a chance to play it. Darn it! But no, it's very interesting. Were the survivors, are they unique enough?
Yes, I have never seen these survivors in any other Resident Evil game. When they created these survivors, they are all different. And the cool thing is you can actually, and I'll say here in a second that there is one thing about that I don't like. You can customize the look of them, but the thing I don't like about it, in order to earn these customizations and equipment, there is a loot box system in the game. It's not pay to win, though. Thank God. It is credits you have to earn from the game.
It's cosmetic, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
there is. It's not just cosmetic though. There is some equipment that you can earn. And it is randomized, but once you unlock it, I think it permanently unlocks it.
Okay.
I gotta read this. Rurutu says, "Spawn the most powerful boss to guard the toilet paper."
Nah, that is the one thing about it though. There is 3 different areas, and it is time based. If you injure the survivors, the timer goes down. If the survivor injures or kills a zombie, the timer goes up. And depending on how well the team does, you may get to the second area and then die, or you may not even get to the second area at all. But I have actually played through where we got to the 3rd area and we did everything we had to do. The door's open, the timer's down, goes into overtime, and I'm the only one at the door. And I had to make a hard decision. Do I let the one guy who's right near me get up here, or do I just get out of the game and say that one survivor won? And I ended up just doing the one because he got jumped and went down.
Oh man, it's crazy that you have to make decisions like that.
I know. For a multiplayer game, it gets intense. It gets beyond intense because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know if you're going to win or not.
Interesting points. I'm excited to play Resistance now because I played through the campaign. So
the coolest thing is they are going to be adding more survivors. They've already confirmed April 15th. They're making Jill Valentine a survivor in Resistance with her own perks and special abilities.
That'll be cool.
So
hopefully that opens the door for like other mainline characters in the Resident Evil franchise to become characters. So
it has, but the one thing I've seen the community calling for more than anything, which I definitely agree with this, they want the Outbreak characters brought in as survival characters for Resistance.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yes, because you had, I'm going to be honest, he's my favorite. There's a guy named Kevin in Outbreak who's an RPD officer that carried a 45, and they had a few others. If they brought all those guys in as survivors, it would definitely be interesting, especially if they did something similar to their special abilities, because the weapons you can use as a survivor are very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And if they added, say, if they brought in the Kevin character from Outbreak that has his 45, I could see that being a more powerful weapon that could one-shot zombies and do more damage against the Mastermind's cameras. And that definitely would change the gameplay up.
Jack Wolfhart in chat says, "Hey, give me Rebecca."
Rebecca wouldn't be a good one, I feel like, because there's already this one character that can deploy a healing spray If they brought in Rebecca, her ability I feel like would need to be maybe something similar to Healing Spray, but maybe fight an infection. Because one of the masterminds can put down an infectious cloud that will actually stumble and knock you on certain occasions and cause you to lose health and eventually turn you into a zombie.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Okay. Winter Robin, and thank you for swinging by. Enjoy your stream. Have fun with that. Okay. Anything else you have to add on the Resident Evil Resistance?
I will say this: if you play it anytime soon, give it time. It's definitely rough right now. The balance is my biggest concern on it. There are times that one of the masterminds felt too overpowered on a certain map versus survivors felt too overpowered on another.
Okay.
That's where I mentioned the beta coming in so late really hurt it. Because they're still trying to figure out that fine-tuning between the two. But, that being said, it's definitely a fun game mode and definitely worth trying out.
Jack Wolfhart wants Wesker as a mastermind. I'm surprised it actually hasn't been done yet. I feel like that was
Funny enough, they're talking about possibly making him one, because the 4 masterminds they have now is Annette Birkin, who's the husband of William, the creator of the G-Virus. They brought in a European guy. I don't remember his name, but he's a unique character they brought in as a mastermind that controls the Tyrant. They brought in Alex Wesker, I think is her name, who controls the plant. And then they have I can't remember it's the old gentleman's name who created Umbrella. I don't remember his name, but he's the final one. I haven't really seen anyone play him yet. So I'm waiting to see how that goes. Because he has some sort of, like, force field or something? I don't even know what to describe it as. Because I haven't seen anyone use it.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So they could definitely add some more masterminds for sure. And I would expect Wesker to be one of them. If they don't, I'll be very surprised.
We'll definitely have to see. But that's it. What's what we've got for Resident Evil 3. Talking for right now. Stay tuned on Rocket Punch, on our YouTube page, and our website. As soon as we get that review done there, we will be posting it up and letting you guys check it out. Other than that, other stuff we've got to talk about. We've let you relax for like the last 40 minutes. Now you get to
good, man. It's
now you get to talk. Oh, there you go. Did you buy your turnips today? Is it a Sunday?
No, I didn't on purpose.
Okay.
I'm trying to pay this house off.
Okay. Kayla Atlantis says, "Are they going to put Alice in chat?" I don't know.
It'd be interesting if they put her as a survivor, but at the same time, I feel like she could break the game.
Oh God, that Alice. Okay. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, he's talking about movie Alice.
Yeah, movie
I
Alice.
think.
No, that's not allowed. Bye.
No, Will, you have some cool stuff that you've been doing with the whole COVID-19 apocalypse stuff that you wanted to bring up on the show. Like, talk to us. What's been going down?
So yeah, all I gotta say is don't take your internet for granted. I've had, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, right now I'm on a WRT 54G backup from like forever ago that I dug out of the basement because the Wi-Fi on my modem died, and it's one of those AT&T provided ones. So half the TVs in the house don't work, the phone barely works, and it's like, yay! Hence the weird squared 720p camera feed.
I was gonna say, I feel like your video quality has gone down the longer we've been on stream.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
we
to
can't
reset
see the
router.
shine on the head. We can't see the shine on the head
Is that
anymore.
better?
No, that's worse.
Game over. But yeah, no, with everything. So don't take your internet for granted. Beyond that, I've been playing Game Boy games on my GameCube. For those of you who don't know, Nintendo made a piece of hardware to deal with that, so you can then play them on the TV. So look forward to some Game Boy game streams now that I can legitimately and legally play my Game Boy cartridges.
Woo! Game Boy games like what?
Based on feedback from Kevin here, we're going to be doing Advance Wars.
You're going to put me on the spot like that? Oh, come on.
Hey, what's wrong with Advance Wars, man? I used to play that every morning in senior year of high school. We were passing it around in my world history class.
True, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to like it. Now they're going to blame me if the stream goes bad.
No, they're gonna blame me because I'm gonna be the one who and doesn't send a tank where a tank needs to be.
I was gonna say, like, we call everybody.
Are
out
you the
here
one
on Rock
playing
Punch,
it?
So
Are you the one playing the game, or am I gonna be the noob over here who hasn't played it?
oh man,
Because let's be real, like actually, it's a lot longer than that. Holy crap!
Baruto in chat says get some Dr. Mario going.
Well, I don't have any Dr. Mario, so I won't be playing that. But once I get the right HDMI adapter, I may bring this out.
Oh snap! I remember that game. Like, I remember the game cartridge. I don't actually remember playing.
This
the
isn't a
game.
cartridge. This is a PS1 game.
Oh,
Final
finally,
GT Final Bout.
Man,
I mean, I don't need an HDMI adapter to do this, thanks to the PlayStation 1 Classic. But you know,
I know that game. I've heard of that game before.
you know, there's a remake coming soon. Weird noob stuff. Yeah, what's wrong, Jack Wolfhart? What's wrong?
Jack. Okay, I'm gonna put him on the spot. Jack Wolfhart is actually playing through that game, Final Fantasy VII, the original, because he has not played through it.
First off, Jack Wolfhart.
Give him a shout out.
Having gone back and rewatched it, GT is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, and that's from a diehard Dragon Ball fan who has the VHS, DVDs, all that stuff, and the manga. It's not as bad as everyone made it out to be. It has serious issues. The GT stands for Goku Time, if you didn't know. Not Grand Tour, it's Goku Time. But beyond that, you know...
Wasn't the whole series Goku Time? Wasn't Dragon Ball Goku Time?
Actually, no. We can thank Master Roshi, Krillin, and Piccolo for that.
Jerks.
Okay, here's my question to you, Will. If you get the right HDMI attachment for the PlayStation original, would you be up for replaying or first time playing Resident Evil 3 for the PlayStation 1?
I would be down.
Okay. I'll lend you my copy.
Ooh,
Well,
boy.
let me see. How hard is that to obtain on PlayStation?
Okay, yes, please. Go ahead and look up the price right now, because I guarantee you're going to be shocked. Because I already told Cameron how much it was at one point on Amazon. Please enlighten the audience on the current price of Resident Evil 3 for the PlayStation 1.
Hang on. Why is my keyboard being weird?
Now, while he is looking up that,
What the hell?
there is a game. If you anybody who listens or watches or plays this game, if you've played this game, I applaud you and commend you, because this is one of my favorite games on the PlayStation. So it was a.
Oh, that's not bad. $12.50.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a pre-owned copy.
Okay,
I mean, they're all
that's
pre-owned.
weird.
Now, there's several $60 copies, but someone's got it listed for like $12.
That's beyond weird. Last time I checked, there was one on sale about 2 months ago for $150.
Yeah,
that was like new.
I think like new is always going to be different than the like. Here's one with the original jewel case and the disc. It's $48.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it looks like buy it now for the same version that you showed us earlier is $59.99. Now here's a lot. 1, 2, and 3, all black labels, $129.
That's still not too bad for all three of those, though.
No, it's not.
So I'm gonna read through some chat here stuff. Nick Uncut, welcome. Thank you for saying hi from your BRB screen.
Oh my god.
Jack Wolfhart, good luck on the Emerald weapon. I wish you the best. Arlinia joins chat, says, do I buy RE3 or not? Sorry, I'm a bit late. I had to water my flowers.
Yes. Arlinia, buy it. I'm calling it now. RE3 Remake is a must buy.
All I have to say is I just linked in chat. It's a 85 plus VGA sealed RE3 Nemesis, $970.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Now, this is a sealed, certified quality game. Yeah, so
Still $900.
Yeah, VGA Black Label 85 plus.
Still $900.
It's almost a grand.
That's what I have. When they're talking about Black Label, I'll show you what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So, I know most people don't realize this. Old PlayStation 1 games were black disc.
Yep.
Well,
And that's
not
what
just
that
Black
is.
Disc, but they're talking about Black Label versus Greatest Hits.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
see what you're talking about. Yeah. So you're talking about that a little bit right there.
Yeah, that's usually what their mean is like, oh, is that Greatest Hits or is that release? Because the Greatest Hits is like the 5th printing or whatever versus the original factory. Like, hey, we're gonna pump out so many millions of these.
Rutu in chat says, "Screw that! I can buy a bunch of Lord of the Rings replica swords for that price."
Rutu, I would suggest if you're going to buy this game, don't buy this $1,000 one. Buy the $40 one.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Especially if you're going to get.
You're gonna be able to play the $40 one, where the $1,000 one you're gonna frame and hang on a wall.
I don't know. When I got mine, it was sealed into plastic, but I was one of the ones that got lucky and found it for $14.50 and took it out of the plastic.
Yeah, but did you play the game and have fun with it?
Yes.
That's what matters.
Yes.
That's what it was made for.
It was made to be played. Play the damn thing.
So we got Game Boy games on the GameCube. I'm excited about that because I have found surprisingly there are a lot of Game Boy games I didn't really get a chance to play. I had my small collection of Game Boy games and that was it. Pokemon being the big one.
I will not be playing Pokemon Red, I don't think, because I don't want to mess with my old game set. I want to leave that as it is. It will die with me as far as that goes. Charmander for life. But
Team Green over here, Team Bulbasaur.
It's okay. I'll burn you in a
I'm
fine.
I'm kind of in the same boat with Will, but not Charmander, Growlithe.
Hey, yo, don't mess with Growlithe now. He's funny enough.
He's the best boy.
He is the best boy. Right now on my current Pokemon game, Shield, I have him, and he knows 4 different elemental attacks. Because Arcanine, once you evolve him to Arcanine, can learn lightning attacks, earth attacks.
Oh yeah, dude, he had messed people up.
Well, originally Arcanine was meant to be a legendary, and then they changed him before it came out.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, there's some interesting design stuff that they had back in the day. This is an old game. You guys may or may not remember this. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Eternal Duelist Soul.
Oh man,
I played a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games on various platforms in my heyday.
Let's see, but no, this is the one that we're going to start because I think this will get the most traction. Advance Wars 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one too, man.
Yeah.
No, the PlayStation game. Oh, apparently our Lenny is down with you on that one.
Hey, look, man. Everybody loves Advance Wars. You just don't know you love Advance Wars.
The game I was talking about earlier. If you've played this game, or if you can find it for me, I would love you forever. Vagrant Story. It's an old RPG. It was on the PlayStation. It's from SquareSoft. It was I can't. Vagrant Story was super great, super awesome.
Hang on. Let's see. It's $30 right now on eBay. Oh, $18.50. I'm sorry.
I need you to forward me the link.
Oh! You want to buy it?
Give it, dude.
So if I bought it right now, that would make you upset.
I'm
just messing with you.
I'll break social distancing rules to come to your house.
Let me go ahead and get the Cheetos ready so I can see this.
The police officers will understand when I explain to them, look, my friend's got Vagrant Story, he took it from me, I need to get it back. Oh, please, sir, let me escort you to this location.
Oh, man, don't worry. You won't get through the door.
Oh, okay, Rutu, I didn't know that it was by the dudes that did Final Fantasy Tactics. That explains a good chunk, actually. That game
Final
is
Fantasy
good.
Tactics was a great game, and I thought it felt similar to Advance Wars.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the one I linked you, you should be good on as far as that goes.
Okay. I'll look at that after the show.
Oh, Jack Wolfhart said in chat, too late, I bought it.
I'll go find him too.
That's hilarious.
I'll find you too.
Cam's trying to start a fight over Vagrant Story now. It's not like it's
it's the apocalypse, man. If there's not a fist fight at least once a day, is it really an apocalypse?
Well, no, they're happening. It's just called Walmart.
I don't go to Walmart.
Or Lowe's. Lowe's is probably an alternative option.
Yeah, Lowe's has got the weapons already there. Oh, you want to steal it from me? Let me grab this 2x4 and go full redneck on your face.
Actually,
That, and I don't think Lowe's is limiting how many people are allowed in the building at a time right
this is a good chance since we're talking about like older classic games. One of the questions you asked me here, like, what other classic games should we look back at? What's in the Will archive over there that we could play?
Oh, hang on. If you're gonna ask that question, what do you guys think? Hang on, I'm gonna grab
He's
something.
gonna talk. Okay, and while he's looking at that,
oh boy,
ooh, Radiant Historia. I feel like I've heard about that, Arlinia. I have to look that up now. But I also asked the question, like, since a lot of people are staying at home because of COVID-19, everybody in chat, this is Table Talk, and in you too, Kevin, like, what are some games you guys have been playing through your times at home, if you've been playing some games or had a chance to play through? I know Jack Wolfhard is playing Final Fantasy VII. Get hyped for this weekend. My first class edition is on its way. I'll get it Thursday. I'm so excited. So excited.
the games I've been playing, of course, Resident Evil 3, just because it's a new game. I'm gonna play it as much as I can. Definitely been playing Call of Duty. I even got a buddy of mine that's here at the house now. He's just in a room watching the stream. Me and him been playing Call of Duty. He's actually got set up behind me. Between that,
Okay.
I did mention Final Fantasy X. I've been playing it on the Switch just because it's easy to play that way. And I'm thinking I might pick back up World of Tanks because I've been playing that while I've been at the store in my downtime, but not at home.
Okay. The Naruto in chat says Yoshi's Island, Legend of Dragoon. Oh man, Stig said he's got the Black Label Mega Man Legends game. 1, 2, and Trump. Those were so good. I loved those games.
That's all I gotta say right there.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Hang on.
Pokemon
That's
Stadium.
not it. That's not it.
That's not the mic drop. What's the mic drop? I can't see what that. I can't read that. Is that Farm
Is that
Simulator?
Star Wars Pod Racers?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It
Oh
is.
my god!
But I'm not even done because there's a game that's better than all of them.
Better than that.
OG Rogue Squadron. I
Yes!
love this game.
That
I love
is
this
a
game.
classic.
Back when Factor 5 was a real development studio, I miss those guys. I wish they were still around. Because I actually have this, and I have Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader for GameCube. And I have an HDMI adapter for the GameCube, and guess what? It works on the N64.
Naruto in chat
Maybe some
says
rogues.
he's been playing Final Fantasy VI, Shining Force 2. He says pull out Superman 64.
Never bought it. Funny enough, as a kid, if anybody brought up anything DC to me, it was gagging noises if it wasn't Dragon Ball or Marvel in a way.
Really?
Yeah, I never cared for Superman as a kid. At all. If it wasn't Spider-Man, Goku, or some other Star Wars character, I did not care.
Yeah, it's like that was okay. Like the DC was cool. I liked the DC animated stuff, but I don't think I really got into the games that much.
The only DC animated stuff I enjoyed was Batman. But I think everyone is required to love Batman.
Okay, hang on. On Batman, did you watch what was it, Batman Forever, or what was the animated one where it had the kid in the future and Bruce Wayne
Beyond.
was old?
Batman Beyond.
Batman
Beyond.
Beyond? Yeah, I have it on
What'd you think
DVD
of
and iTunes. I have it on DVD and iTunes. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of people hate on that one just because it's not Bruce Wayne, but I loved it because it's futuristic. It had a few little toys that you couldn't get in a modern day Bat.
Funny thing about the Batman Beyond series, did anybody here actually watch the last episode? Do you remember the last episode?
I don't
No,
remember it,
I
but
don't
I
remember
could have
either.
sworn I did watch it.
What was the kid's name? Hang on. I gotta look it up because... Oh, sorry, the dogs are running around.
While you're looking that up, I can read some more comments here. Stigander in chat says, since Isolation, I've been playing Total War Warhammer. He says the old PS1 Spider-Man game was pretty great. I remember that. That was pretty fun.
Okay. So, yeah, Ruto, I had to look it up. Terry McGinnis was actually a genetically modified human made out to essentially be a clone of Bruce Wayne.
That explains
yeah,
things.
I remember that one.
Except he didn't get the intelligence that Bruce had. He got the raw just tenacity and just drive. So it was kind of a weird, like, hey, we didn't get everything right in this process, even though we're in the future.
But we were close enough.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that was Justice League Unlimited? Are you sure, Rutu? Because I thought that wasn't the last episode with the police chief lady.
Jack Wolfhart says, wait, did someone say Batman the Animated Series watch party? It's good.
I don't own the Batman the Animated Series in a digital format, so...
What's the last episode? I remember. And then Baruto, of course, says, go watch Superman Red Sun. I heard that was good. Heard that was really good.
Yeah, the reviews have been kind to Superman Red Sun.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I hope it's doing well, because DC needs something to keep them going.
Yeah, after they stopped the Arrow TV series, they kind of lost their leg to lean on.
CW was their big driving thing for a while. I don't see them coming back from that.
I'll go and tell you, man, I didn't like how they did the Batwoman TV series on CW. It didn't feel like it was on par with Batman as a whole.
I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, so...
Yeah, I never got into those shows on there, because it was like, oh, okay, characters from a series I don't care about. Moving on.
Okay. Now, Will, the last thing you have in here says that you are playing this very small indie game. I don't know if people have heard about it, called Final Fantasy 14. So
you probably have never heard of it.
You may not have heard of it. So real talk, Will, tell me why I should resub to Final Fantasy 14. Like, how's it been in there?
Do you want to be a ninja? Do you want to be the very best like no one ever was?
I thought you were going to ask if I wanted to build a snowman.
I thought he was about to start singing Pokemon.
No, I've got a level 70, 71. It's the first time in a long time that I've played a DPS class, and it felt like I had more utility than anything else there. It's interesting because I can actually, based off of what's going on, I can adjust a bit better than just, oh, here's damage, damage. I can actually do things to help my other party members and buff everybody. So it's kind of nice.
Okay.
It's an interesting thing. Beyond that, I mean, you could always just be a red mage.
I'm trying to find...
I mean, no, you would want to be a black mage, Cam. That's what you need. Just go in and just be a black mage and just blow everything up.
I don't like... there are a lot of different classes and stuff, and I know that in 14, it's specific to your... The class you choose will specify the roles you have, which is something very interesting that they do.
I mean, yes and no, because, oh man, let me just change jobs. Oh, different weapon equipped, job change. We're good. Let's keep going. Whereas games like... The one thing I love about this is I don't have to make 10 characters to have all the different classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hate games where they do that. Like, you have to start a whole new character and then select your class. You can't change on the fly. That irks me more than anything else.
Well, welcome to World of Warcraft.
Why do you think I don't play?
Yeah, I've stopped because of other issues, but that is up there.
Please refer to previous episodes of the Rocket Punch Show to find out more. That's why we'll stop doing that. No, I need to get Shadowbringers, and I know it's on sale for like 40% off. So,
yeah, I mean, funny enough, I just picked it up on PlayStation so I can sit back at the TV and play, and because crossplay is a thing.
It's crossplay, right?
It's not just crossplay; they just connect to the same servers because Square Enix told Sony long ago, "This is how we're doing it, and we don't care." And Sony was like, "Okay."
yes, that's exactly it.
They did that with Final Fantasy 11, and they've been doing it ever since. So technically, Sony's always had crossplay, but it was more they didn't have a choice if they wanted this Final Fantasy game.
More like it's not that they had a choice; they just didn't care to help others get the crossplay.
No, Square had to build the whole thing.
Yeah.
So okay, very cool.
So I mean, if you want to be a tank and I have my paladin job is up to 40 something, and ninjas in the 70s.
What do you play as?
Right now I'm playing as Deeps. Pally is tank.
Okay. I may. Well, I like healers, so I might do DPS and healer.
Yeah, I mean, you could always level a healer, and oh man, if we group up, even though I'm in my 70s, it'll just scale me to your content level.
Man, what did we do before that was invented? We had to create new characters and level them ourselves. It was awful.
Yeah, Rurutu is saying you could be red mage and do DPS/heals.
Okay, ooh, good call.
Which is valid, because then you don't have to change jobs or carry 2 sets of gear. You can just be red mage.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll have to do that. Okay.
Man, I just looked over at the stream. My audio quality is garbage.
I'm probably right there with you, Will, if I had to guess. Especially after my internet cut out earlier. We're talking about the internet struggle with COVID-19. Well, we experienced it firsthand.
Yay, said nobody ever.
Has it been that rough?
A little bit. The thing I've noticed down here is the reason they're having it more than anything is it's being overloaded because, yes, kids are being sent home, but they're still trying to do like homeschool. They're offering free internet packages for families that have their kids homeschooling basically with a teacher over the internet. And while that's nice that they get to do that, I got to feel they just weren't prepared for it, and it's starting to overload the system a little bit, which, to be honest, this whole COVID-19 is overloading every system when you look at it, between medical, grocery stores, logistical, what else? Fast food. I mean, they're getting a little overloaded with drive-thru,
Well, yeah, because no one can go somewhere to just buy something.
Exactly. So it's really overloading everything. So I will say this, for anyone that goes and gets mad at internet service providers for the trouble we're having right now, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Shame on you, because we need to have more compassion and understanding during this time,
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Oh, let's see. Stig, I don't know if it'll let me do that. It may have to be Cameron.
It will. Well, this is the first time we've actually ever done this. So, people, if you pay attention to our point system, there's a point thing up there where if you can redeem a free channel sub. So, if you want to actually be a free channel sub, if you watch our content, you can get enough points and get a free channel sub from us. I am actually looking at that right now because I have to sort that out. What's our channel again? Oh yeah, okay, that's what it is. But I mean, there's no restriction on that. If he wants to give it to somebody, we can give it to somebody if that's his choice. It's his points to use. There. Experiment with it. One Punch Man show. What is that? You're talking about the anime? Oh my god, I'm totally derailing us here with anime, but I did not know that they were remaking Digimon.
What?
Dude, they've been redoing Digimon every few years.
They're actually doing. They did a complete remake. It's called Digimon Adventure. The first episode just went live today.
I thought it was Digimon Adventure Try or something like that.
That's a movie of like when they're older. This is like the original Digimon when they were kids. They remade it and it's available on Crunchyroll right now.
Or is this with the original characters?
Yes, Ty and Izzy. So like the interesting thing too is like the kids don't know each other at all in this go around. So like it's Ty meets Izzy for the first time and then he gets put into the digital world and they're trying to sort that out. And then other people are in there as well. It's very interesting. It's very cool.
Okay. If it wasn't on Crunchyroll, I would definitely go and check it out. But Crunchyroll's just...
Just wait a week and watch it free. Wait a week and watch it free. Don't pay them.
Ooh,
I'm hoping maybe it'll come to Hulu. Because Crunchyroll and Hulu, I feel like have been teaming up lately with Funimation as well. And putting more anime on Hulu.
Well, Funimation got bought by Sony. And I think Sony had a contract with Hulu. Is why some of that's been happening. Yeah, because they got bought by Aniplex, and Aniplex is owned by Sony. So weird strings that connect the PlayStation to everything.
Yeah, because Sony's not just an entertainment company; they delve into everything.
Kind of have to. Halo Atlantis is saying Grubhub's been busy last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Like all those services have been
If you want to see crazy, try going to a Walmart app or website and try to place a pickup order. You cannot do so.
There you go. Took care of that.
All right, cool. Well, I got another one for you to do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep, there you go. Here's a free sub to somebody. I have 36,000 rocket fuel. Give it to someone.
I will do that. You know what?
Bruto, you're not wrong. I mean, as far as that goes. Also, Monster Rancher was pretty dope.
Yeah, agreed.
You were, Will, weren't you like a huge fan of Monster Rancher?
No, it was Pokemon.
So, there was somebody who loved the Monster Rancher games.
I never got the Monster Rancher games. Just because the cost of them back in the day. It was like, if it was going to be a choice between Pokemon and Digimon and that, it was like, bye. Give me the Pokemons.
Okay.
And the Zeldas and the Marios.
I saw a bunch of other old video games. Nick Uncut says, Digimon Tri Ultimate EX Alpha Plus 3.1 Championship Edition. Oh, yeah, that sounds like an intense game right there.
I wish the Japanese would figure out a naming convention that doesn't involve adding like extra words that sound like they're aimed at like amping up a middle schooler.
Yes, let's go. But no, awesome. I'm glad some people got to get some free subs there. So Varutu and Jack Wolfhart, you should thank your fellow watchers for throwing that sub your way. And that's one thing I love about the community there too, is that we create something and they use it to help other people. It's super awesome, dude. Super dope. That unless anybody has anything else, we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think that's it for episode 9 of the Rocket Punch Show.
I think so too. I need to go reset my internet and play it.
I want to go.
I need to hop back.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I need to hop back in Resident Evil already, man. I need to beat my second playthrough.
I've got to finish. I got to finish watching Sonic the Hedgehog because I was like midway through it and I want to finish watching the rest of it there.
Wait! You didn't buy the movie?
I did.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Oh no. It's for all the work that those developers did in taking the criticism about Sonic's look and revamping it. I was more than happy to help, support them.
So just a heads up. I don't know if you guys know. They went so over budget on having to redo Sonic that they actually closed that production studio. It's no longer open.
What?
Yeah. That did suck. Yeah, it did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for all the internet bullying that happened on the Sonic movie.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw that one coming for sure.
Yeah.
Because didn't they say they weren't gonna pay the CG animators anything extra for redoing Sonic?
Which is, yeah, they did say that, and the downside is, it's not the animator's fault because that was a design decision that was made by the studio making the film. But the animators took the hit.
That's ridiculous.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah. But guys, that's going to be it for episode 9 of the Rocket Punch Show. If you're joining us in Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to raid somebody. I'm actually going, because you are a special guest, Sniper Eye, you get to pick who we're going to raid. So find somebody for us to raid there. As we do closing remarks, guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, rocketpunchgo.com is the place you want to go to check out all of our content. We got new podcast episodes of Console Wars and Dice Decks and Design coming up. Doom Eternal review is up. We've got a bunch of other reviews and op-eds coming out your way. Follow us on Twitch. Listen to us on your podcast service of choice. Blah, 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 blah. Anything else, Will, that we need to talk about that I need to add, throw in the fire here?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Actually, you know what? Will, can you get the link for what Smarter Every Day is doing?
Absolutely. I've actually shared it in the watch party. So
yeah, let's talk about that because that is something that's really cool that we're doing.
Yes. Well, we're not doing it. Smarter Every Day in the Huntsville community.
Yeah.
But I will gladly help share the word there.
I'll go ahead, Will.
Oh no, I was going to say, if you click on the link, the local YouTube star, Smart Everyday, he's got a fairly decent sized channel, but he's got a whole video on the Huntsville, Alabama area. Essentially, they're 3D printing face shields for local first responders and a bunch of other people who are in the medical field and police, because they're getting to deal with this stuff right in their face. And so the way they're doing it is they essentially looks like they're 3D printing these plastic brackets that hold the acrylic or plastic or whatever it is, and they're making them in enough mass to where they can actually distribute them to the local hospitals.
That's pretty cool. Definitely something worth supporting. I think they're accepting volunteers as well
you can donate supplies, you can volunteer, you can, if you're a first responder, request it, or you can pay money to help pay for more supplies.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Kevin, who we rating tonight?
Well, as much as we talk about Resident Evil tonight, I saw someone that I'm following. He's a Twitch Huntsville streamer, Bearded Donkey. Looks like he's playing Resident Evil 3 right now. So why not?
We're gonna raid Bearded Donkey. What?
Donkey!
Give me spell his name out for me, because I will misspell it if not.
Here, I'll go ahead and just I'll do you one better. I'll type it in chat. How about that?
There you go. That works. And then while you're typing that, everyone give a special round of applause to our special guest here, Kevin, aka Sniper Eye 2010, who joined us for the episode today. Plug yourself again, sir. Where can people find you? Check out your streams, all that good stuff.
My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Sniper Eye 2010. That's Sniper Eye like an eyeball. You'd be surprised how many times I have to say that. I'm on Twitter, which is where I mainly go and announce the stream schedules and try to share little clips and everything. It's Sniper Eye _2010, because someone on Twitter apparently took Sniper Eye 2010 already. I will find you and I will hurt you. And then I have a Discord channel, but I don't think I can spell out that the link for it.
No, that's a little weird, a little hard to do. But we'll see if we get people plugged in for that.
Nah, if you just go to my channel, it's there. It's under the info. So that's really the 3 places I'm at.
Okay. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, talking about Resident Evil and also the game stuff.
Thank you for having me. I mean, this has been fun and amazing.
It's been awesome, and I'm glad we're, especially in this special situation we have to deal with. It's really nice. We had Arlinia a couple of weeks ago. Like, getting some special guests on the show has been really awesome to do. So,
hey, I was fully prepared to drive up there until all this happened. I mean, when I first talked about it, I was like, hey, it may be an hour and a half away, but by God, I want to talk some Resident Evil. So the fact we could just video chat, it was like, okay, well, this is kind of convenient.
Makes it so easy.
Hey, you know what? And you're not spending as much money on the gas, so hey.
That's right.
True. I drive a freaking V8 truck, so.
Boy, hey, it sounds like you're in Alabama.
Oh, and plus we're at stay-at-home orders too, and I don't think that coming to join
no tickets.
A Rocket Punch podcast stream is not considered an essential activity, which we're still trying to work out with the government on getting us on the list. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated on that.
I don't think the governor's office will approve that.
Probably not.
I could just, to quote Detective Pikachu, I can feel it in my jellies.
Oh my God.
And with that is the end of episode 9 of the Rocket Punch Show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're watching via Twitch, we're going to raid Bearded Donkey, a fellow Twitch Huntsville streamer. But if not, you're listening via audio or video. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.